WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Hi, Lieutenant. How are you doing? Aw, did you find your land nav point, Lieutenant? Good job, Lieutenant. You get a
Expert Action Badge.
Put on your uniform, right?
Expert Action Badge.
Show up to work on time.
Expert Action Badge.
Qualify on your weapon.
Expert Action Badge. Badge of Action.
Find your guidon.
Expert Action Badge.
That's right. Just doing your noble warrior task and drills, you get a
Expert Action Badge.
Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
Shit in a bag, Pogue. Badge of Action.
The voice of U.S. Army. WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Action Badge.
This is a public service announcement from C.T. Fletcher. I will not contribute to the pussification of a nation. Get your punk ass out there and work for it, motherfucker.
Let's roll.
Morning, Sergeant Major.
How do you know what kind of goddamn day it is?
Beautiful morning, Sergeant Major.
Are you a fucking weatherman now?
You're listening to Sergeant's Time on WTF Nation Radio.
Buongiorno, people. How y'all doing today? Man. Sorry, I just had to cut the music off. I don't mind talking the music, but... Anywho, welcome to the 19th of October, 2017. Sergeant's Time, WTF Nation Radio, broadcasting live from the Functional Veteran Center of Excellence with my sub-ice, Doc Madison, my golf. What's going on, guys? How y'all doing?
What's happening?
Fucking Captain's Log.
Captain's Log. You got a problem with fucking Star Trek, dude? Star Trek is fascinating.
No, dude. Not at all.
Yeah, exactly. So anyways, this is a fucking welcome to Friday Eve. Fuck yeah, dude. It is the weekend. I need a fucking weekend, man. This fucking shit. Man. What a week. Kind of went off on somebody today and told them how insignificant they were, and due to the fact that they've been in their staff position forever and a fucking day, and it reverberated throughout the whole fucking area. Whatever. I don't care. I'm just done. I'm tired.
Somebody's gonna drop chair bombs on you.
Yeah. Like, so, your eyes. Nah, it's okay. Some people are just like whatever.
It's the position that you're trying to attain.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've already had it for such a long time.
And then they seem threatened.
They were slighted.
Yeah, they seem threatened. God forbid you know some more. You have a more knowledge than those that you're working with, because God forbid that's fucking intense. Hey, today, one of the things that kind of pissed me off today. I normally don't go, and this is Sergeant's Time. We always talk about Army stuff and all that, so this kind of fucking relates.
It's Peter Griffin's grinds my gears.
No, this is that's not really grind my gears type thing. It's just the fact that there's just some things happening in that is affecting our military that not too many people realize what's going on, or actually people know what's going on. They're just overblowing it and all this other shit. So let me just read something real quick. I'm deeply saddened by the loss of your son. Our nation will not forget his sacrifice, and we can never repay our debt to your family. A simple letter cannot ease the pain of losing a child, but I hope you take solace in knowing that his brave service exceeded all measures of selflessness and devotion to this country. We honor him not only as a guardian of our liberty, but also as a true embodiment of spirit of service to a cause greater than ourselves. Michelle and I offer heartfelt sympathy and pray at God's grace that you give comfort to you as you grieve. In life, your son was a shining example of all that is best in our land. In rest, may he find the peace we all seek. Sincerely, Barack Obama. So the next time someone tells you that our presidents don't write family members of fallen service members, they're full of shit. I don't care where you get this information from, but it's happened the most of the time I've been serving, to include when my father passed away and he was already out of the military and he received a letter of appreciation. So I don't want to fucking hear that shit. When anybody says that, and I totally get, in case what I'm referring to is that the president this week said that the president writes letters, or the previous administration didn't write letters to whatever. I have 5 freaking letters in front of me by different presidents of the United States of different times. So, again, WTF Nation Radio, we don't take sides. We just call shit the way it is. And we did some research, pulled up some letters, and looked at it and like, wow. Not only did Barack Obama do it, not only did W do it, not only did Clinton do it. And there's some, you know what I mean? Every single fucking president has done it. Just about has written letters to families expressing their condolences.
So where are you getting your information from that he was quoted? Like, did you see it on his like Twitter account, or was it like fucking, included in the like vaginal refuse that like ends up on Lifehacker fucking blog every day?
That's what I'm saying. Everyone is saying that the president has said that no other president has written before. I'm just clearing the air to let everybody know that they have had, because there's controversy going on right now that it said that our president said. No, what I'm saying though is that basically I'm clearing the air.
Where's the source that he actually even said that?
What's that?
Did we actually verify that he even said that, or is it like just these fucking claims?
There you go. It's just claims. That's all I'm talking about. It's just talking about.
Cool.
Yeah. So I'm just talking about claims specifically about what our president said or did not say, and then clearing the air of what our previous presidents have done for members, for family members of soldiers and service members that have fallen in the line of duty. So. Yeah. So when I read this and I hear shit and I hear stuff that troops are now being politicized so much through both sides now, it makes my fucking head spin. Literally, it does. You don't sit there and use a photo op or whatever to say anything, nor do you run and keep private conversations or privileged conversations and run out to the media and say, well, this is what happened, this is what didn't happen, blah, blah, blah. You don't say that. Especially if you are of not supporting or supporting of who you, whatever political affiliation is. There's also claims from a Florida congresswoman stating specifically that the president had said that, well, this is what he signed up for. If you now I'm taking to the other side. If you've sat,
but dude, Florida's like legitimately any members of their government have to be clinically insane to get voted in.
Or sometimes they're the voters themselves that they just keep them up, keep them in there.
Representation.
Yeah. But my biggest thing is that now on the other side is that when someone said that, the president said, well, he knew what he was doing. He knew what he signed up for. If you've sat in a eulogy of a military memorial service of somebody who's been killed in action, what is the first thing they always say? He knew what he was getting into, and he knew the dangers that was inherent to his job, but he still went anyways. Everybody hears that, right? I hear that when I go to a memorial service and I hear about somebody's life and being celebrated. They say the same thing. They say, well, he knew what he was getting into, but he loved the job. He knew that doing this was going to be hazard, but that's what he signed up for, and that's what he wanted to do. He loved his job. He loved his men. He loved his country. I don't get how everyone's comments are now getting so fucking misconstrued that it's just literal banter. In case anybody hasn't noticed that the Army's in a sad state right now. We don't need bickering motherfuckers in our administration and our government going back and forth and discussing what was said, what was not said, or whatever, and then gotten to the point where the chief of staff, General Kelly, had to reveal something about his own personal experiences because he lost a son, and he brought up the situation of what was in context and what was misconstrued and all that. I personally don't want to fucking hear about politics anymore. I would rather I was gonna say I would rather watch the NFL but that's politics in there too. You know what I mean? It's gotten so stupid to where you can't. Nobody can fucking do anything now without somebody screaming, "Oh my God, look what happened! Oh my God, look at this!" Hey, how about we just talk about?
Yeah, dude, but that's because people spend all day being nice to people that they can't stand at work. They come home, they want to be mean to people by being fucking internet trolls.
Yeah, exactly.
While they're fucking drinking alone and shit. And then there's memes. I mean, I'm not going to say we, but the
veteran
military
community.
troll community.
Yeah, the veteran troll community.
Yeah. We convinced with one minor edit to a Wikipedia page, we convinced that the Marine Corps requires HIV positive service members to be identified with a red patch. It fucking spread like wildfire, you know, because everyone wants to believe that.
And exactly that. One of my biggest things that I don't understand. It is one of those things to where I go, Versarn, how can these guys? How can this is saying that? You're putting me in a specific spot now, where I don't even talk politics to the troops. I talk about specific programs that the military is trying to go under, or the AUSA stuff that's happening, and all this new technology we're trying to get in, or what the Army's considering about having being rolled out, what initiatives are happening, what stuff like that.
That's all politics, dude. That's all bribes, and I mean, what do they call it now?
No, they call it AUSA, but they call it networking. You're talking about
blah blah blah, whatever. It's bribes, fucking bribes.
Exactly. Contract steering,
lobbying. Is that contract stealing? Exactly that. So
yeah. So the only conversation that you should have with your subordinates about politics is half right face.
Exactly that. Hey, well, I mean, there are specific punishment exercises that I do on my soldiers that if I were to reveal what it is, then that would really narrow down my PERSEC. So, there are specific punishment exercises that I conduct on my company.
Damn, you're going to be the next one on the sexual assault takedown, right?
I'm going to get Weinsteined.
all these field general grade officers and shit are getting rolled up for being all dirty and shit.
And then
the next exercise is the Hello Dolly. No, wait, you're doing it wrong. Let me show you.
No, never do that, man. But it's just funny that the soldiers they're asking me, they're like, Tom, what do you about this one? I've been thinking about that. Hey, how come this? How come that? I'm thinking, yeah, so what's the status of weapons maintenance? I don't, right now we have hardly anybody in the company as it is to fucking worry about this shit. So right now you just need to chill on the shizzle with that dizzle. But yeah, I'm just bro, I really don't know what to say. I wanted to clarify it right now on Sergeant's time that presidents of previous administrations have written letters. So I'm going to dispel that rumor right now that whoever is saying that our president said that, then I'm just telling you what we have researched. I'm not taking a fucking side on that shit. I don't know unless
it could have been a meme. It could have been like the Photoshop real Donald Trump Twitter shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like, whatever, dude.
Yeah, and everyone's talking about, well, we're doing in Africa anyways. Okay.
Yeah, dude. Like, we don't we don't fucking study economics in university anymore as a nation.
Oh man, we don't study how the world.
We don't even. We completely bypass the chapter on monopolies and just say, "Ooh, it's bad, ooga booga."
Unless nobody wants to talk about that stuff. But when they do talk about it, then whatever. But again, I don't tell the troops, man. Fucking whatever. So anybody who wants to bring, everybody who wants to bring politics in on the heels of a soldier being returned, during the dignified transfer of remains, that's not the time to do it. That's not the time to sing the national anthem. That's not the time to sit there and talk about politics. That's not time to do shit. The transfer.
What I suggest to those of you guys that are like, you're gonna have like subordinates that are like gonna be going to college and shit that need to practice citing their sources. What I would do is, if anybody brings some bullshit up to you like that, I would demand that they bring you, like, give them homework, have them bring you like 3 different formats of citations for what the source of their information was.
Where'd you get this information from?
And if they were in the intel community, I'd probably start their out processing packet if they're fucking if that's the type of people that are like writing reports about dragons and shit.
Oh man, I'm just again I'm just shocked that now it has come to petty fucking bickering about what was said, what was not said, who didn't say it, who didn't write the letters. All other presidents are writing letters, and they didn't write letters, and they should have written letters. And God, shut the fuck up. Just shut up.
I know, dude. Confederate generals wrote letters.
Yeah, Confederate General, my dearest Jessica, today. Yeah. So, you can't talk about that. Fuck, man. Shut the fuck up.
I can. I do.
No. What I'm saying though is that
I know what you mean.
It's just one of those things. I just shake my head. I'm like, I don't even fucking. I just ignore it now. It's to the point where Netflix has been very good to me. I'm just sitting there catching up on all my shows and shit. And,
you know what? It makes me wonder, like, when reasonable people are dismissive of these like type of fucking. The best word for it is an absurdity, an absurd state of events, and they start like just not paying attention to it. Is that how like you get Nazis coming into power?
Yeah.
And shit.
Well, now
I mean, like
now everything's gonna be
because the shit that they did wasn't reasonable at some point. You know
no,
what I mean?
well, it was only reasonable to them, I guess, if you were along with it, but it is again one of those things to where when if you are writing an opinion paper for the Army Times and you say, did Trump react poorly to the deaths of service members, or is he being vilified? If you're opening up that can of worms, then shut up.
Then don't.
Yeah, then don't. Yeah, then don't. I really don't fucking. Why are we discussing how the president handles it? You got to remember, this has been a test. Again, I'm not defending, but I'm just stating fact. This is the first test of him discussing casualties. You know what I mean? Actually having to do this stuff. He has everybody.
He's been doing it since he's been fucking elected. We've had in the soft community, we've had almost 10 dudes that have died so far.
Correct.
Like that are like
correct
disclosed.
Yeah, correct. Some disclosed, some undisclosed. But again, it you don't. It's going back again to what I was saying about the sanctity of events. And if this is why it's so sensitive on this one soldier and all that, then why is it that they're not taking fucking standing for the national anthem seriously? Or why are they not taking, you know what I mean? They're picking and choosing certain things to be serious about. But then this one right here is, again, I wasn't there. I wasn't sitting with the president and listening to what he was saying. Half of the individuals that are against our president anyways are waiting for the gotcha moment. You know what I mean? They're like, ugh, gotcha, he said this, and the next, you know what I mean?
No, they've been pulling that gotcha moment out of their ass so often that it just sounds like the fucking rantings of fucking madmen at this point, man.
Yeah.
It's like the little boy that cried wolf while wearing a tinfoil hat.
While your latte enema flies out of your rectal cavity and just gets all over
with a fidget spinner.
You probably do that in the bathroom, right? The tiles.
Yeah, with a fidget spinner in hand.
And using the autistic fidget spinner, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So again, I'm up.
I think a lot of people's problems with the current administration and the head of the chain of command is the fact that the guy really doesn't have a filter. Everybody else every other president that we've ever had, at least in my memory, has had some kind of filter and an advisor, to kind of keep them in check. And now you got this guy who is not a career politician, who is the head of the country, and people have a problem with that. You know, granted, he does need some kind of filter.
No, he doesn't. They're just fucking haters.
That too. But Mike Golf's right.
It's like imagine
the other guy's been groomed for it.
Imagine somebody who gets promoted to, let's say, E8, and you're like already E8, right? And you've been like towing the line, trying to make sergeant major, so you're fucking, buttoning down your fucking NCOERs and shit like that. Then you got some fucking asshole that comes in, fucking makes his E8, is completely belligerent, disrespectful, grows like Viking beards and fucking braids them on deployments, and then gets promoted to sergeant major like before any of your cohort does, right?
Yeah.
Like that's straight up, and then he's in charge of you. You're gonna be fucking pissed, you know?
No, I'm not gonna be pissed.
You're just gonna be sitting there just shaking furiously with your pristine NCOERs.
Yeah.
Well, and I agree to a certain extent. No, we need a president that does not have a filter. However, I think he does need some kind of a filter when it comes to foreign policy.
I think.
Yeah, that's what the Secretary of State is for.
Yeah, that's the Secretary of State.
That you hire your cabinet based off of like he knows this. This dude is like that's a strength.
Or even little shit like talking about Bergdahl. I mean, come on, you can't say that. You're going to fuck up his trial. Let's just execute the son of a bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know, man. I don't think. I think a lot of shit, by the time it reaches us, has gone through multiple filters after it's come out of its mouth, if it even did. I really do believe that.
At all.
And I think that he is like very outspoken, and he is like has a very strong character and shit. But this dude is like one of his strengths. Like, how do you think he runs a business that's like so successful? It's not because he sits there and manages it himself. It's because he gives autonomous control of certain aspects of the business, of the process, whatever it is, to individuals, and then he fucking fires them immediately as soon as they fuck up. Like, he has he runs a tight ship. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
So I would say that a lot of this shit, it could be even planned as far as just like stirring up shit goes, you know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, also, I think part of it's probably like he's just thinks this shit's funny. So, but whatever.
He's President Troll.
I'm kind of with you on this one, Mike Golf. The other guys have been groomed for this shit. He hasn't.
Yeah.
So he's never been groomed into the proper etiquettisms of yes, this is how you president. You know what I mean? He's never. He doesn't know. He's not sergeanting. You know, nobody taught him how to be. You know, be a sergeant.
Yeah, the glove doesn't fit.
Yeah.
He's the fucking corporal of presidents.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't know exactly what to fucking say, but then he's like, fuck it. And then he sends it out and sends everybody in turmoil. Now, a lot of the stuff that he said, though, when it came to what he said, as far as what he told the grieving mother and the wife, I don't think he should have said what he said. I don't think he should have said, and this is what I told him. I should just said, hey, I spoke to the family, and the information that you're hearing from this congresswoman is incorrect. That's all I'm going to say. That's it. You know what I mean? I would not go into the details because that's kind of like protected information. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a sanctimonious moment that you and when the president calls you to express his
It's fucking private.
Yeah, it's private. You don't want to bring it up.
You're not. I mean, but he is a businessman, which makes that's like a certain level of. It's a different type of prostitute than a politician. You know.
Yeah. A different type of one, prostitute. You mean? Well, I mean, you elected him and shit, so not you as in, but the country has elected him in the Electoral College. But the hell is that? The fuck is that, dude?
Damn, dude. Whose fidget spinner?
What is that?
That's impressive.
What the fuck was that?
What was what?
Sounded like some air raid.
You didn't hear that noise?
I didn't hear it.
I have no idea where that happened.
Dude.
If I didn't hear it, it probably came from me. I'm currently out in the middle of the woods sitting on the tailgate of my truck with a bonfire.
Wow, dude. I think we just heard some paranormal shit.
Better call
You hear that?
Jay Reddy, dude.
Yeah, you hear that, dude? I heard that fucking.
Tell him to get his hat and
Yep.
get in the microwave.
Yeah, exactly.
This is how I deal with politics. I sit out in the middle of the woods with a bonfire on the tailgate of my truck with a beer.
Yeah, exactly. But
Fuck the world.
I didn't hear that, dude. I did not. All I heard was this weird. What the fuck was that, dude? I think you're like, you better be careful. You might be a squatch around you, man.
That's all right. I got an AR-10 with me. I'm good.
Oh man, I'm hating, dude. But
And a 40 caliber 6-hour.
that's what I'm talking about. Again, I it's one of those conversations. You just shut up, be quiet, and say nothing. There's no need to discuss what conversations you had with the spouse or family member.
No, that is a private conversation between you and them.
Now,
it shouldn't be a media circus.
no, it also shouldn't be anyone's fucking business. I
No,
mean,
do you want to get banned from Dover? Because this is how you get banned from Dover.
yeah. Again, everyone, and then of course, once again, like you were saying, Doc, you had everybody coming out of the woodwork of their own specific claims of what happened or didn't happen. Everyone's talking about there was cameras that needed. I didn't want cameras to come out, but cameras came anyways. Well, each of them have to be. Cameras were the probably the press, but the guys at Dover have to record all the transfers. That's just part of it, so that way they can be registered, so that way they can be logged in. That's just the way it works. There are just some things in the military that happen that people don't understand have to be a process, but they think
because it's fucking rules.
Yeah,
man.
exactly, because they think it's the president's
Not
fault.
damn.
Yeah, this is in Saigon, son. You don't sit there and get the ass about what the president's. You don't get mad at the president because the casualty assistance officer, the casualty notification officer, has come up to you and said, "This is what's going to happen, and this is what's going to be, whatever." I've done both roles, and it sucks. And it really, it really freaking blows. To memorize a opening line and then maintain your composure, and literally, the chaplain that I was with looked at me and says, "Dude, yeah, just you might want to take your headgear and everything off when you walk up to the door, because you're going to be the guy that's going to be telling a family member that they've lost their husband or son." And I tell you what, fuck, you do not.
By being sexist.
No.
There's chicks that die too.
Well, no, saying no. For my case, it was actually when I was a CAO, it was one for a female for a CAO, and I was a CNO for a male. So I had both. Had a male for notification, and I had a female for casualty assistance. And
I thank God every day. I was certified CAO, and I thank God every day I never had to do it.
Oh, dude, it was oh God. So yeah, that's what happened. when I notified, mom was there, dad was there. It was just the perfect collision of the family members there. Sister, dad, mom, the brother was out getting something to eat and going to come back with his wife, and I was there, and it was the mother was obviously distressed, obviously upset, and she grabbed my lapels, and the chaplain's like, just take it, dude. She's grieving, let her grieve. And I'm thinking, and I'm looking up, trying not to show no emotion, and then the chaplain, the chaplain was really cool. He was helping me out and assisting me, and when I could say I'm sorry, ma'am, or whatever. I didn't know what to do. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things you just don't tell anybody of that experience, and it was just some freaking. It was just an experience I'll never forget. The looks on their faces, the reaction when I showed up, the build up to it, the door opening. I mean, it is dead. It is a memory that will never get burned out of my head. And then when I was a CAO for the girl, just here, after I didn't go through the notification process, but that was almost an 8-month event. I had to take leave. Chaplain and some therapists asked me if I was okay, because this was a pretty hard case with legal documents and family disputes and family coming across from overseas. It was just a mess. And I had to tell family members that, again, because of what social media said, I thought we were going to get this, and I thought we were going to get that. This is not what you get. And I had to line out, and I basically was giving them like a checklist. Here's what we have to complete. This, and this. And there would be times where I'd come to the door to knock on the door to the family member, and I'd say, "Hey, I'm here to, I'm sorry, so-and-so, I'm back again to knock this out." And then the door would shut in my face. "I don't feel like dealing with you right now." And I'd call back to the CAC, the Casualty Assistance Center, and say, "Hey, family member does not wish to talk," and I have to log. You kind of like keep a staff duty log, and man, so it'd be back and forth, having to deal with that. So that in itself, I couldn't even imagine anyone at that time getting the ass and saying it was the president's fault, or it was because he didn't say anything right. You know what I mean? I never heard anything, and of course, anything I can't say it's into specifics because of Privacy Act. You have to sign Privacy Act statements and all that stuff. But I will say it was one of those, like you said, Mike Golf. I don't think, okay, I'll just do this training. We need senior NCOs to do it. Okay, cool. Yeah, all right. And then
no, it wasn't okay, cool. It was, are you fucking serious? You want me to do this? I don't know that I can handle this. Please don't send me out to ever do this.
No, it was more like it's almost like the online training. You don't think you're gonna get it. You don't think you're gonna do it. You're gonna go through the training. Right. You're like, oh, man, that sucks. Okay, whatever. And then you get called up, and they're like, hey, this is the CAC. We're gonna call you up, and then we're gonna let you know that you have to come down here and report. And I'm thinking, oh God. And that means you already had your dress uniform already set up and ready to go, anyways, because you're on call. And and that's when I showed up. And then I said, is this CAO or CNO? And as soon as they said CNO, I was like, oh gosh. And there was no joking around. There was not talking about the fucking weather. I don't even remember what the weather looked like. You know what I mean? There were just certain things that was so, it was just dead set looking at the family member. And then the build up to it, the drive. I don't remember the drive. I only remember the door opening up and seeing the mom and dad's face and telling them. And it was one of those things to where I could never. You can't. As a CNO, you can't tell. I mean, not. You even think yourself, man, is this really happening? Did they really lose their kid? I mean, it's almost like, but I didn't come to the realization that this is really happening. This kid really did get killed in action. You second guess things, you know what I mean? And it didn't at all, not one time, that there was any joke. There was nothing about what I thought somebody said. There was none of that stuff. I let everybody, I let everybody. He'll take it out on me. I was told that from one of the kids that the Army was the worst thing that they'd ever been involved. They should have never joined. Blah 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 blah. I have other ones that I hung out with there. I don't keep in touch with the families anymore because they, understandably, I'm the guy that just told them that their kid got killed. It's not like we can grab a beer together or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's not somebody you want to hang out with.
Yeah, exactly. And then the same thing with
on the flip side, though, I watched my S3. He was a casualty assistance officer back in 2013, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And he was probably the greatest officer I have ever worked with while I was in the Army. And he made it very clear, you don't work for me. We work together.
Yep.
We work with each other. And his handling of his CAO case, to this day, I still believe, and this was 2013, this is 4 years ago.
Yeah.
To this day, I still believe that he is assisting that family.
Yeah, exactly. Well, again, there's still some outreach programs and all that, for having Gold Star families.
Yep.
So again, I felt it awkward, and nor that was, and this is what one of the chaplains that was with me was saying is if they reach out to you, of course, obviously, but kind of it's almost like giving them their space. I was the guy that just told them they're not going to get this benefit. I was the guy that told them that this is what's going to happen. I was the guy that said they couldn't be buried this way. I was the guy, you know what I mean? There was just a lot of things that I was the guy that said, you just lost your son or daughter, and you're not going to see me again because someone else is going to come help you out. And you know what I mean? I'm the guy that it just the amount of emotions and just compelling myself, man. I needed when my commander goes, you need to take some leave, and you need to go and take some leave. You need to talk to somebody, let me know, and we'll go talk to somebody. Because I had to deal with all those emotions. I had to deal with the emotions of a grieving family member. So my whole point being is that don't believe anything unless you know specifically or have spoken to a Gold Star family member and discuss anything that's happened. Take it from them. Don't take it from what a freaking congresswoman said in Florida, who's got poor taste in fucking hats. Just don't believe all that shit.
And every family member, every family is going to grieve in their own separate way.
Yeah.
I don't need a fucking congressperson to speak for me. I personally know 2 Gold Star families, one of which I was their son's recruiter.
Yeah, I couldn't even.
And I had to face the family when he came back. I rode with who was it? The Warriors Watch Riders.
Mm-hmm.
I escorted it. I took his ass to MEPS and shipped him off.
Mm-hmm.
And when he was killed, I brought him home.
Yeah.
And I had to face his wife, his widow, and their unborn daughter, and his parents. I was the guy that put him in the Army. I shipped him off, and I brought him home. Every family grieves in their own way.
Yeah, exactly.
And some families are going to blame the president. Some families are going to blame the recruiter. Some families are going to blame fucking Pat Tillman. This is not a media worthy thing.
No, it's not.
Other than how a family grieves is not a media worthy thing.
Yeah, again, it's and don't get me wrong, because I saw all levels of emotion when I was a notification guy. I understand where they're coming from. I mean, not understand because I've never lost a child, but I would understand. I know there is. I mean, of course they're going to be upset. Of course they're going to be. They're going to lose it. That's just the way it is. I had one of the brothers. Was quiet, didn't say anything to me, offered me a beer, said I can't drink, I gotta go, and then that was it. So you can't really blame anyone. Like, that's right, D-Max. You can't blame anybody for what happens during war.
No.
Especially when everyone knows. Like, I totally get if someone's like saying, I'm a conscientious objector, I don't want to freaking leave, this is a bad unit, blah 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 blah, and blah blah blah. I don't know, I don't feel safe, yada yada yada. Talk about whatever, and then something happens to him because it's just negligence or whatever. I totally see that being investigated. Totally see that, the whole thing.
Yeah, fuck you, Bergdahl.
Yeah, well, no, I'm not talking about Bergdahl. I'm just talking about how Pat Tillman, how he went through his situation, and and how everybody was covering him up and trying to cover it up and everything, and a commander pretty much got relieved. Some other individuals were relieved, or not relieved, but given letters and reprimands and all that, and that's it.
Yeah.
So it's not one of those things to where, and even when they were everyone was eulogizing him at his funeral, his brother got pissed and went off on everybody because everyone was trying to speak for him. Again, people, hey, if you want to say, hey, this is what happened to ICE, whatever, and it's a dark, and it's something too. You also understand the morbid subject matter. Nobody likes to talk about it. Nobody likes to talk about that subject matter when it comes to that. So I don't understand how, if we're supposed to be sensitive about what people are saying in the media, that somebody in the media and somebody would talk to the media about that. You know what I mean? That moment. That shouldn't be brought up at all. I mean, you could.
I've also had a child deployed to Iraq.
Yeah.
My son did a tour in Iraq.
Yeah.
And I thought about that shit every day if somebody showed up at my door and told me that he was killed in action.
Yeah.
His eulogy from his dad, me. Holy fuck, dude. That would have been one for the ages.
Yeah, exactly.
That motherfucker went down in a pile of brass and a blaze of goddamn glory.
Exactly. And again, whatever eulogy is said, he knew what he was getting into, but he knew the danger, but he still volunteered to serve his country. That's the whole point that I'm trying to give out, Nation. That's what I'm trying to talk about right now.
He knew what he was doing.
Yeah. I know what I was doing. I knew
what I was doing.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're gonna misconstrue that shit, and then right on to something, man, it's disgusting.
Just know this: when I was injured in Iraq, when I got blown up, when I hit that fucking roadside bomb, had I died, just know my emotion when that bomb went off and I saw the flash and I felt the heat and everything went black. My first emotion was anger. Oh, hell no, these motherfuckers got me.
Mm-hmm. I bet.
And a majority, I'd be willing to bet that a majority of these soldiers that are killed in action, if they had a last thought, it was, oh, fuck no.
Yeah.
I'm better than this.
But meanwhile, we have somebody talking about what was said and was not said, and
fuck what was said and what was not said.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
It's like fucking Casey. God, what was that kid's name?
Huh? For what?
Casey. His mom went and protested the Crawford Ranch when W was in office.
Oh yeah. She was. Yeah, I remember what you're talking about. Yeah, she was part of Project Pink or something like that, and was always.
Yeah, I think she started Code Pink or some
Code
shit.
Pink, yeah, Project Pink, Code Pink, yeah.
My son didn't want to re-enlist. Really?
Yeah.
Nobody held a gun to that motherfucker's head and told him to raise his right hand. He died doing what he loved.
Yep.
And if you ever read or listen to Long Road Home by Martha Raddatz, he volunteered to go out on a truck that ended up ending his life. Not only did this motherfucker raise his right hand in a combat zone, knowing what he was getting into, not just getting into, but what he was in, volunteered to go on a patrol that ended up taking his life.
Yeah.
This is what we do.
Yeah. Yep.
I can't fucking. Yeah, you got me all fucking fired up now.
Well,
fucking the
exactly.
whole Viking mentality of fucking or Spartan mentality. Come back with your shield or on it.
Yeah. I mean, could you imagine? I mean, like I said, the White House Chief of Staff, John Kelly, lost his son in Afghanistan. Lost his son. And he said that he was so shocked about the escalation of events that he had to take a walk. He had to take a walk because he's like, I cannot believe this is happening right now. I cannot believe that fucking a member of our Congress would even be using a service member's death as a platform for whatever. Hey, look, you can hate Trump all the fuck you want. Hate him about whatever. Something like this, until you've looked somebody in the eye and told them that they've lost their family member, or you have to call them, or you have to write the letter or whatever. Yeah, I'd suggest you shut the fuck up.
Yeah, and they won't
Yeah.
say anything if they've ever had to fucking do that.
Yeah,
They won't want to open their fucking mouth.
yeah, exactly.
This is some shit I would expect from Nancy Pelosi or fucking Dianne Feinstein.
Well, a whole thing was that nobody ever used to talk about. That was almost like it was like back in the day when people used to not talk about politicians' kids. That was like off limits.
It's like blowjobs. It's taboo.
It's taboo. It's off limits. Talking about the war dead, it's off limits.
That was Blumpkin territory.
Yeah. But now there's no all bets are off.
I blame social media.
Social media now has given like Doc said before, has given the social media has been given people the fucking platform, even stupid people, to fucking say what the fuck they want.
God bless the freedom of speech.
Yeah.
First Amendment.
Yeah, airborne.
Meanwhile, I'm out here exercising my Second Amendment. Fuck you.
Yeah, with some beer. I'm drinking some of that beer.
Yep. As soon as the sun comes up, I'm blowing some shit up too.
My whole point, Nation, is the fact that know your shit before you start fucking posting and sharing information about what the prez said or what the prez didn't say. Research your stuff, because again, this subject right here got pretty heated at the office, got pretty heated at the, in the news, got heated everywhere else. So I'm like, okay, let me open this up, and a lot of people were probably shocked when I read that it was Obama's letter that I was reading. I didn't fucking like him either, but you know what? I think just that manner of appreciation or a condolence letter, it doesn't matter who you got it from. If I was grieving and I got that letter, then it would be, hey, thank you. He's not representing, it's not dude, it's not him, he's representing the country. Just to get something like that would be a sentiment enough. No matter how much I didn't like him.
It's it's an SOP, dude.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not like he's gonna have to go out of his way to not do it.
Correct, and I'm glad you brought that up too, because my next point of how callous the system is that there's a regulation for it. There's a regulation for it that says specifically, because I was going to read 4 other letters, but they all said the same thing.
Well, yeah,
it's a form letter.
It's a form letter. Fucking, yeah, dude. That's what I was going to say, is that it's it has to be.
Yeah.
Right? Like, think about it.
Yeah. I mean,
imagine if he wrote it, like, maybe he did want to write something else, and he ends up, like, the dude's human too, you know what I mean? But he's going to get fucking immediately, every word is going to be dissected by every fucking fag that thinks that they understand what a fucking goddamn, what is it called? The Oxford's Dictionary fucking, they don't fucking know how to use that.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, dude. He'd tweet Kofifi about it.
Yeah. Oh, who is it? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to neglect you there, Mixer Chat. It's Representative Federica Wilson, Democrat from Florida.
Democrat. That explains it.
You'll know what she looks like. She likes wearing cowboy hats.
The fuck's wrong with cowboy hats, yo?
I'm just saying. You'll see how she wears cowboy hats. There's nothing wrong with cowboy hats, yo. I'm just saying. But yeah. So again, that's just one of those things that she should not. Again, private conversation between the family member and the president. You just don't go eavesdropping on that shit because that's how shit gets misconstrued, and that's exactly what happened. Oh, he just said that he knew what he signed up for. What else did he say? Oh, he just said he knew what he signed up for. He knew what he was. He knew he. What did he say?
Yeah,
he knew.
We all knew what we were signing up for.
Yeah. Damn right.
Yeah, but how did she eavesdrop it? What happened? What was the circumstances to the situation?
She was apparently in the same vehicle or in the same proximity of the president. That's what I'm saying. No one's really talking about what was the
He knew what he signed up for. In other news, water is wet, fire is hot.
Yeah.
I can't believe we just spent fucking hour talking about politics.
I know, dude. This is supposed to be Sergeant's time and not
fucking disgusting
politic time. I know. I totally went away, but I was trying to clear the air on what it is about involving, truth and fucking what we're saying here, because it's fucking some bullshit.
The politics of the last hour has interrupted my diamond washer drills on my AR-10.
Should get a fidget spinner.
Ooh.
I saw a tactical fidget spinner, and I could not believe that there is a tactical fidget spinner that you can stick on the rail.
Yeah, dude, we were memeing those like.
I know. I'm just saying.
As soon as they were being sold.
I know. I'm just saying. I was just like, oh my god, a fidget spinner was freaking unreal.
Where do they sell those? I want a tactical fidget spinner.
You gotta be.
If anybody's
it's like a rail attachment.
You gotta be tactical, man.
I think it was grunt. It was grunt style or Ranger Up. I think it was Ranger Up that did it.
Yeah.
And it's like it's a Picatinny mount for a fidget spinner, and it's like for all those times when you're like pulling security, and like
you're bored.
It was like a whole spiel about like war is fun. Sometimes though, you have to pull security or some shit like that. And
exactly.
It's like,
fuck around, dude.
Those times, here's your fidget spinners.
I'm gonna get one for my AR-10. I got new handguards coming in, and I'm gonna have something to do while I'm sitting up at a fucking deer stand, waiting for the whitetails to come through.
Why it's gotta be white? But okay. Sorry, just
because Black Lives Matter.
So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and kill the Facebook Live feed. You guys on Facebook Live. Gonna kill the feed, so I'll see you guys. You can just join me here and make sure chat if you want to listen to what's going on. Ending the Facebook. Done. Okay, there you go. Pew pew. Facebook Live. So coming up next, we're gonna have our guest. He's gonna be Jonathan Kophanger. He's with CBS Radio, working with ConnectingVets.com. So the next pop up on Facebook Live you guys are gonna see will be our guest. So with that, shots.
Twitter shots.
Is that actually a picture of the Antichrist crying? I like it. It's tasty.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
And we're back. I got our guest on the phone right now, Jonathan Kophanger. Is that how you say Kophanger? Kophanger.
Close. Kophanger.
Kophanger. Okay. Like coat hanger.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right. I want to make sure to I just like the last portion of your name, anger. I love it. So joining us today from CBS Radio's ConnectingVets.com, he's a California native and reports full time on the Department of Veterans Affairs for ConnectingVets.com. So what's up, man?
Not much. How are you?
I'm excited that we like big league media coming on here right now. What are you talking about? CBS Radio.
I don't know about that.
That's like CBS Radio. I mean, I got to kind of like watch my mouth now because what if you stream this on your and people like I start dropping F-bombs or something like that because
I think that's fine.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. So tell us about yourself.
Most important question is what part of California?
Oh yeah. Yeah, exactly. What part?
I usually say Monterey, but I'm actually from Salinas.
Nice. San Joaquin Valley. There you go. I'm a native too. So anyhow,
I'm from the East Bay.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, so Tate. So John, tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm a veteran myself. I was in the Navy for 9 years. I had the best job in the Navy. I was a journalist. I got to travel around. If I could do a Navy tie, I could travel anywhere I wanted to go. I loved it. I got out and went to work at Disney World.
Oh, man.
And would still be there if it were in any other state but Florida.
What's up with Florida?
I'm not a huge fan of humidity, alligators, sinkholes. There's a huge long list. I've always said that I think we could give it back to the Spanish anytime. We'll be fine.
That would be kind of funny.
I moved up here. I moved up here in DC. I live in DC. I've just been here ever since. Longest I've ever lived in any one place in my life. It's been about 19 years. And I don't know that I love it, but it's kind of interesting. So I got married here. So we got in-laws. So that's kind of why I've stayed. But that's kind of a little bit of me.
So did you now I saw a little bit of video on you. You have a master's in theater and drama. And you said it was shallow. Why would you say that's shallow? I think that's pretty cool.
I was shallow with it. It's all about how you look. It's about who you know. It didn't fulfill me. I'll put it that way. It just didn't fulfill me. I had fun. I met some wonderful, wonderful people.
Yeah.
But I couldn't see doing that for the rest of my life. And to be honest, at my age now, I'm glad I stopped when I did because my body would be hurting more than it already does. But so, yeah.
Well, you got to get used to, you're a Navy vet too, so you have to, that arduous activity type stuff. You know what I mean? Because I know you Navy guys.
I was in better shape when I joined the Navy than once I got in there. So I don't understand that.
So you joined up to with the Veterans Administration, and then you discovered that they had their own studio, or they had their own method of, I guess you'd say, journalistic programming. Explain that. I mean, I saw that when you mentioned it in the intro video.
That wasn't even part of my official job. I was an admin officer. I ran they have a conference center in Crystal City, just outside of DC, and I ran the conference center. But my secondary job, because of where I worked, the media department was in that department as well. So they had a nice 10,000 square foot studio there, right next to the White House even. And so they asked me one day, said, can you walk and talk at the same time? And I said, well, yeah, I can. So they had me anchor a show. And it just was it took off from there.
Did it seem like it was just easy for you to just transition in there to say, hey, look, I got this now. This is it. Were they ecstatic to have you come on and take that on, or were you kind of coaching them along and they were kind of apprehensive a little bit?
When I got the job and I found out that there was a TV studio involved, I said to my husband, within a year, I'm going to be anchoring a show.
Yeah.
And so it was just kind of one of those things where that's what my background's in. That's what I like doing. Give me a chance and I'll do it.
Awesome. Was he supportive about it? I mean, he had to have been. I mean, he probably just said, yeah, go for it.
Yeah, he's not the government type. My husband is a DJ. He's a club DJ. So we have different schedules, different pretty much everything.
Really? Well, if we got some music that if he wants to try out, just send it our way. He's got
all right,
any
sure
tunes he wants to cut it. Hell yeah, man! Because we're always looking for some music to play on here, so that way we don't have people trying to chase us down and saying we're not supposed to be playing their music. So he's not really involved in that then. So he doesn't really have a big part in it. He just kind of does he laugh at you? Does he make fun of you because you're haha you're doing this or at all?
No, he's never actually seen me do anything. I think he's seen a couple recordings of it. But I don't go to his gigs either, so it works out that way.
Okay, that's cool. So then now you became the head of the studio, and then what? You got connected to CBS Radio. How did that work out? I mean, what was the? Did this all happen within a year's time? Did this all happen within a short period of time, or did it just gradually got to that point where you started getting noticed?
Well, no, I worked for the VA for 6 years, and I started doing things for them within the first year.
Mm-hmm.
It was monthly. We had a monthly show, and so we did that. Then I started moderating kind of the internal videos that they would do. A lot of the training for the doctors, the nurses, all the different things like that. I would moderate the town halls. It just became one of those things where they knew I could handle it, so why not get Jonathan to do it? And then the clients started asking for me to do it. So it really was just we have somebody, if you need them, we have somebody who could host for you. And so nobody really wants to do it, so I got to do it.
Awesome. Now, I noticed also in your intro, you discussed that you are also talking about, and I'm glad to hear it because I have friends that work in the VA. I'm glad you're highlighting whatever story comes out of the VA, where it's good and bad. Does that get conflicted sometimes, or is there anybody trying to tell you push more good stories or not, or how does that work? How do you differentiate that?
No, nobody tells me what to do on this, it's kind of fun. I have to say that I pinch myself every day that I'm getting paid to write and talk. That's, to me, is just fun.
Mm-hmm.
The stories, I like to do the good stories. I will admit, I do enjoy writing good stories more.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because, like you, I have friends that are still in the VA.
Yeah.
And not just friends, but just people who I've met that do such good work. I think it's a shame to have every bad thing done in the name of the VA lumped on the whole big, overall thing. So while, yes, I will report on things that are negative, I prefer to do positive things. And there are a lot of positive. There's really a lot of positive at the VA.
There is. I just think that because of we were just talking about it earlier, about how much the media has jumped in and has diluted so much into the nitpicking of what is really not bad. Some people just don't understand what the procedures are, or some people refuse to get help, or some people don't know that there's help out there, and they blame the VA when that help is not given to them. I like to hear good stories about the VA as well, because one of the things I remember you saying in one of your videos is that you're going to everyone in uniform is going to hang it up, and we're all going to end up using the VA. So it's better to improve the VA. I mean, that was some poignant stuff you were saying earlier, that it's better to improve the VA and highlight that there are people out there that are trying to make it better. How many people do you have in your staff? I mean, do you do this by yourself?
We only have 10 reporters, I think. Yeah, it's not a huge staff.
Mm-hmm.
Just 10 of us.
And are they heavily veteran background as well, or are they a mixed between civilian and military veterans?
Well, that's one of the best things about this is everybody has a veteran tie. If you're not a veteran yourself, you're either married to a veteran, you're a child of a veteran. We've got a very well-rounded group of people, and it's funny because the woman her husband's a veteran, she is so frustrated because there's not enough information for her as a spouse of a veteran. There's really not a lot of information out there. So she and I are starting to work on trying to get more information about that. So it's really kind of cool because we're going through some of the same problems that other people go through. I myself have not used any of the medical services at the VA, so I don't know that part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But at least that we kind of understand a little bit of the frustration, and being that we're all veterans or have that really close tie, I think we do a pretty good job of reporting information that people need to hear.
No, and I agree with that. I didn't even know there was programs for spouses of veterans until I actually started trolling your. Once I found out you were going to be my guest, I started trolling your website. You got a lot of interesting stuff, and you got Harley Davidson as a sponsor. That's awesome. Hey, can't complain with that. But a lot of it, there you have a heavily resourced page. Was it easy to pitch to CBS? How did CBS Radio get connected to this?
I've to be honest, I've heard just a little bit about it. I was just excited that I got the job.
Mm-hmm.
I I forget who pitched the idea, but it surprises all of us who work there that the idea flew, to be completely honest. We didn't think that there would be that much of an audience for this, but there really is.
No, there is, yeah.
And it really is, just, if you just look at it from just the altruistic side of things, it's such a good thing to do for veterans. Who wouldn't want to do it?
Yeah, well, we're kind of in the same boat, except we're more of a, I guess you would say more of a underground. I guess you'd say that would be it. We don't have CBS radio. God, you got CBS radio. That's awesome. I mean, do they? Again, I know you don't get told a lot what to do, but there are some things that are. I mean, I've seen some of the posts in there that gets pretty vitriol in there. Some of the subject matter, and it's. I mean, it looks like you guys go from the 15th Attorney General's transgender military ban is unconstitutional to what the president's talking about to grunt style. You know what I mean? You span the whole. No, go ahead.
Yeah, we're still trying to figure out kind of how much of that to do, but I don't know. The best thing about it is, you know, when I first started, they said your beat's VA, so you got to do VA. So that's what I was doing. And then after a while, they said, well, you know, you could do other stories, and it just kind of made it a little bit easier to work there. And once they kind of did that, where we all had just kind of gotten to a good swing of things, the stories that started coming out were, you know, like you said, we could talk about something that's kind of serious and not fight about it. So I think that comes across where we can talk about that internally, but then when we do the articles or we're on the radio with it, we're not arguing.
No, exactly. No, we do the same thing. We tackle some of the subjects on air, and we have people call us up and all that. We just wanted to, we're kind of, I mean, you're probably the same way. We're kind of apolitical, a lot of stuff. We don't care as long as you bring something to the table. We're all trying to hit the same goal. I mean, it's one of those things. A lot of the ones too that you're talking about, the military spouse JD network. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
The JD network?
Yeah, one of your guys was talking about there's a problem with PCSing. And there was a military spouse. JD network wants spouses to practice law, and I don't know if you were too much into that story.
Yeah, I wasn't into it at all.
Oh, okay. Wow, sorry about that.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Anyways, so who maintains your website for you? I mean, is it you pretty much do you own it? Is it your total control? I mean, how's your sponsorship? Who helps you out?
It's CBS Radio. And again, I don't get involved in that side of things. I have to say that when I worked at the VA, I was in charge of something, and I was responsible for something. And when I came here, I wasn't in charge or responsible for anything. And I really love that. And I'm the first person to sit there and say, oh, this machine is broken. Okay, I'll be sitting over here while you fix it. And I'm just going to write my story. I'm enjoying being a worker. So, yeah.
Okay. Well,
I know that sounds really rude, but after a few years of being in charge, it's nice to not be.
I was about to say, I wouldn't mind it either. All that time you've been hanging out and not doing you've been doing all the work, and now it's, like you just said, something's going on. So, So what do you think yourself, seeing it from that level of the veteran community doing stuff like this, like how we do WTF Nation Radio, how Grunt Style, how VetRS, those kind of groups? What's the outward feeling up in the Beltway about stuff like that?
I only know from what my coworkers say. Everybody seems to enjoy it, and talking to people at VA. And again, since that's my beat, that's really who I talk to. We do have a Capitol Hill reporter, and so he talks to people over there more. But they really, really enjoy the fact that there are other groups that are working to get information out to veterans, because they know that there is a section of veterans who are just frustrated with the VA and don't want to have anything to do with them, but can get information from other sources like you, like us, like Grunt Style, like all these other places. So they really do enjoy it.
Do they ever ask, hey, did you want to go check them out? Did you want to see? Did you ever have anybody just say, hey, look at these guys, and talk about it to the VA, to the chief of the VA? I mean, does he listen to some of the groups like this? Does he pay attention?
I believe he does. Secretary Shulkin is he's a smart guy.
Yeah.
He's he pays attention, and when I've seen him talking to veterans or talking to doctors, nurses, whomever, he really listens. And one of the things that I enjoy about him more than anything is he makes decisions. And because he was the undersecretary when, in the previous administration,
correct,
undersecretary for health.
Mm-hmm.
So when we found out that because I was still working at the VA when they were going through the nomination process, and we had heard a few names that were a little scary. Sarah Palin was one name that was floated. So when we found out that Secretary Shulkin was going to do it, first thing that a lot of us thought was, well, he knows what he's getting himself into.
Yeah,
he's been here for a year and a half, so
exactly.
he knows what's going on. He knows where the skeletons are. He knows how horrible things are for people. So maybe that'll be a good thing. I mean, he's the first non-veteran to run Veterans Affairs. So that was a little odd, but his medical background, I think, is exactly what VA needs right now, because that's what VA needs to focus on, is getting the medical side modernized.
Yes, it does. Now, you know of any initiatives that are coming out? There was rumor throughout the military channels that they're going to try to join the active military system and the veteran system. Is there any truth to that? I mean, I know
you mean the medical part of that?
Yeah, correct.
Yes, they are doing that.
Okay.
The problem is, the VA system is 30, 40 years old. It takes, I think the IT budget, I may have my numbers wrong, it's several $1 billion, and half of that is just to keep up the old medical system. So yes, they are going to upgrade it. They're creating their own, because they realize that that's kind of what they have to do. And it's going to talk to DOD, but isn't it crazy that for so long they haven't talked to each other?
Yeah, that was when you just said 30, 40 years old. We're using what's called Alta in the military right now.
Yeah.
And that's I'm surprised, because that's actually sort of a dated system that needs to be updated itself. But what's the hang up? What was the reason why? What was the? It can't just be just money, is it? Is that what it is, or?
No, it's because the VA partners with so many different things. If you just even just the Choice Act, being able for veterans to be able to go out to the civilian world to get things taken care of. Well, the VA system needs to talk to all of those hospitals as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, and the VA is massive. There's, I think, something like 1,300 facilities that are just like medical facilities. So you have those, and then you have all the people that they test with, and then you have all the other hospitals that veterans have to go out with. You had the whole telemedicine is coming on, and they have to deal with that. So there's so many different avenues that this system has to be able to talk to. There's really no way to just go out and shop for one.
Yeah,
so that's kind of been the holdup. They really had to create it themselves.
Yeah, and I was just now. I mean, this is probably out of our lane, but I'm just curious to how they were going to be able to combine both databases to ensure that there's some sort of interoperability between each other, so that way they're communicating. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're not going to combine it. There's just going to be some way to talk to each other, but they're not going to combine it.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. And that makes sense then. So I was reading some statistics about they've spent about $1 billion to try to make it more compatible, and it just decided the previous administration said, forget it. We're gonna go something forward. And
yeah,
I was like, why did it take just $1 billion to figure it out it wasn't going to work? I mean, do you know the inside deets? Come on, man. Give us the details, man. Come on. We want to know.
I don't know that. I do know that they started a few systems that didn't work. There was a supply system that just one hospital, it was a couple $100 million. And I can't remember the exact numbers. But it was so convoluted that nobody wanted to use it. It just took too much time to actually use it. It was supposed to save time, supposed to make things easier. So nobody wanted to use it. So there was all these little issues like that. And again, the VA is so big, and you have the three main groups. You have cemetery, you have benefits, and you have medical. Mm-hmm. So they all kind of talk to themselves and deal with their own things. And then when they try to go together to be the big VA, you have problems with even stuff inside talking to each other. So it's a mess. I really think that somebody just needs to take a fire hose and just clean the whole place out.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like, because it's almost like you're building, it's almost like you're bondoing a rusty car. You're putting Bondo on it just to continue, and you're just covering the rust. You're not handling what's underneath the rust.
Yeah, and people have to remember that to handle that rust, it takes an act of Congress.
I was about to say
how good that works.
Yeah, and the thing is now, and that's frustrating too. What's frustrating for us is that we see on the outside is we always see a bill about ready to pass, and what is it with with our Congress attaching small little tidbits of what they want to pass through, or they won't sign the bill to handle this? Are they really that? I mean, I was going to drop an F-bomb. Are they really that messed up? I mean, are they really? You know what I mean? Are they really that? Are they that idiotic to realize that? Hey, let's move everything away. At least create like a VA bill, like just a VA bill. Nothing else. Nothing can be attached. Nothing can be lobbied for. No strap hangers. Just a straight VA bill. Because I'm pretty sure the Secretary Shulkin must be just frustrated as hell.
It should be that way, but it's not.
Yeah. Oh God, I'd be so frustrated. I mean,
it's so annoying.
So is he talking about restructuring the VA as well? Is he talking about, because I know you said the SHARE Act, there's got to be some support for that. There's got to be, you said there's the 3 different departments. Is there going to be any I guess you would say a realignment or a reactivation or revitalization, deactivation of one department to combine another? Is there any of that type of plan happening right now that you know of?
That's been going on for a while, actually. Even while I was working there, they were doing things like that. There was a big push for a while to get rid of office space and just turn it into space for medical facilities. Meaning, we should spend more money on veterans. There has been a lot of restructuring going on. There's even to the small point of telework, being able to have some employees stay home so that they don't have to travel, and being able to close some facilities to save money. So they've been doing a lot of things like that. But again, it's so big. These little steps, when you first look at it, it doesn't look like much. I know there's a big push on modernization going on. I don't have a lot of the details. I know they're struggling with it. I don't know why yet. I'm looking into it, but it's frustrating for everybody involved. But that's all I know what's going on. I don't know that they would ever do any major restructuring, because what they have, when it works really, really well.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you have any insight on the VA utilizing the Veterans Evaluation Services to kind of fast track disability claims? Has there been a reduction in backlog that you know of?
I haven't. I've purposely not looked the last few weeks, because I looked at it about a couple weeks ago, and I was going to wait for a while to really see things kick in. I know that they're expecting this 30-day thing to really do something.
Can you explain what's
excuse me, they have to, because I think it was something like 28 I want to say $1 billion, but that sounds like too much. A huge amount of money to go through all this, and it was going to take years and years and years to get all the backlogs taken care of. There's one out there that's been out there for more than 25 years.
God.
So, it's a mess. It really is. If you look at it from big picture, I don't see how anyone would really want that job, because it's a thankless job.
I really don't get how. Now, what is this 30-day thing you were saying? I'm sorry, that was another question I was going to write down.
There's a new, and I'm going to try to remember all the details for you, but there's a new way to deal with your claim, and it has to be a certain type of claim, but you have to have everything already. You can't add any new documentation if you're going in. So what you have in your file right now, that's where it is. They will go at it, and you'll promise to have a decision made in 30 days.
Wow.
But you can't appeal it. You can't do anything like that. That's the thing. It's one of these things where you have to just take your chance and do it.
Yeah. Now, do you think some of these claims are overreaching? I mean, there has to be a fraud department, right? To some of the guys that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, is there? Yeah. You were like quick. Yeah. There's a bunch of them.
Yeah. I mean, there are, and I'm a nerd with some of this stuff. I like to look at the IG reports.
Yeah.
And every month they come out with them, and it's almost like a rap sheet, because they talk about some of this stuff. And it's not just veterans trying to do this. It's nurses, it's technicians. Every month I sit there and scratch my head, because I'm thinking, how do these people think they're going to get away with this? Or why would they even try? But it happens. But the VA is pretty good at catching you.
Yeah, I've known some individuals that have not, and there's another. I think there needs to be a specific. There's just some guys that don't know that if a family member or has moved out of the house, or they're no longer dependent, that they're I should say, are living with them, that there's gonna be a change in benefits. I don't think does the VA, do you think, does a good job communicating with that, saying that there's gonna be a change in benefits, or it's just they do say something and the veteran decides to, nah, I'm not gonna look at it. Is that
It's probably a combination of both, because there's probably a ton of email, mail, all that stuff. So do you look at everything that you get? I know I don't.
No, I don't. No.
and then there's some of this where people just forget. They forget that they have this thing set up. So I think there's some fraud that happens that's not on purpose, but yeah.
Oh no, I don't forget. I don't forget a divorce. Yeah, I don't forget that. So there'll be a change of benefits for me. Yes, yes, I got divorced. I can't forget that. I mean, I'm just joking.
Well, yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to give people the benefit of the doubt.
No, I hear you. No, what you were talking about, there was the Social Security Administration also uncovered $37 million of improper payments, and that I found that to be, whoa. Along with that, changing of military record or medical records, are they going to do the same thing with their benefits as well? Are they going to do the same thing with their payouts?
Yes, and actually the new schedule for the payouts, I thought we were going to post it. I'm looking at our website right now, but I guess we didn't post it. I'll try to get it up there tomorrow. But the new, there's actually a new COLA for the first time in a couple years, I think, a COLA increase. It's going to be for the benefits as well. But I don't know much about the benefits. It's very, very confusing, and there's different layers of it. And I've tried to dig into that to do an article, and it's so obnoxious. I need to get somebody who really knows it really well and have them explain it to me. And I'm trying to find that, but that's kind of a unicorn.
Well, so I know these are just separate cases. Hospitals. We all know that there's the big drama that happened in Phoenix. And then just recently it's reported, and I don't know if it's confirmed or not, that there was a veteran who was left unattended while the nurse played video games. Is that legit? Is that a legit case? Is that a legit case that really happened?
I've heard about that. Yeah. I was starting to look into that, but then I went a different way on an article. So I'm not really sure, but I did hear that reporting as well.
I don't like I don't like bullshit artists. If you have something that is coming up, and we were just talking about in the first segment, make sure you have your information straight before you come out and say something about who said something or what was not said or what a former president did, because that was the first segment of me was talking about how the current controversy of who said what or who didn't send a condolence letter or whatever, and I pretty much dropped the bomb on everybody by saying I've read 4 of them already on the air with the same format, but obviously there were different presidents. So I know that's got to be frustrating for Secretary Shokin to deal with that. That is it real? Okay, we got to get into it. Oh my God, the phone's gonna ring. Here we go. What's the next step? Has he developed a quicker response to some of these needs that the veterans had? Has he developed? Because I know you've all seen the on social media the guys calling up the VA helpline and be on hold. Is there any way ahead with that? Is it going to get improved?
I know that they're opening. They may have opened it already. It may be this month that they're opening a new call center. So that would be 3. The White House has their own separate call center that I hear isn't really staffed up too well. But that's all I know that they're doing on that. Again, I really, and I don't know the man personally. I've interviewed him a couple times. I've seen him a lot. I've paid attention to him a lot. So that's kind of what I'm drawing this on. I just find him a very thoughtful person. And I really do believe that everything that he does at the VA, he does with the thought of helping veterans. So we may not understand. And I was trying to do an article the other day, and I had to put it away because I was getting so bogged down in all the different layers of, this looks bad, but you got to check this to make sure that this doesn't have anything to do with it. And then, what about this place is closing? And then, the funds are going over here to fight suicide over here. So maybe these places that are closing, it's a good thing to do. There's so much to think about with every little part of the VA that I've just decided to stop second guessing him on certain things and just kind of waiting to see what happens.
Yeah.
He's made some really good decisions, like getting rid of, there's like 1,100 facilities that the VA doesn't need anymore. Well, let's get rid of those. Why are we paying on this stuff? Why have we been paying on this stuff for decades? So things like that, it's like, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Let's cut some of the junk out of the way so we could really see what's going on. And I think that's what he's doing. That's kind of what I'm getting.
Now, I'm glad you kind of brought that up. You probably his office probably gets a lot of crap for shutting down, because the first thing you hear throughout the media is, here we go again. You know, we're closing veterans. Nobody cares about veterans, without knowing the full case of what happened.
Yeah.
Without,
One thing, I'm glad you said that, because there's a part of the VA that a lot of people don't talk about that I've written about a couple times, and it's called the fourth mission. And the best way to talk about it is, if you shut down the VA, there's not going to be a national emergency response.
Yeah, I was just about to say, go ahead. Continue
that's what the VA does. If you look at Las Vegas, within hours of the shooting in Las Vegas, the VA had a team there. And if there's anybody who knows trauma, especially trauma about guns, it's the VA. And they were there within 24 hours. They had 3 mobile medical units there to help with psychological issues and things like that. They had relocation teams helping people find each other. So there's the response like that if we do away with the VA, we're not going to have this anymore. And yes, there are massive problems. Well, let's fix it. Let's look at where the money's being spent and not just throw money at it because somebody wants it.
Yeah.
But let's figure this out and fix what we can.
Or use it for a political piece to keep it open when it's really a money pit.
That's so annoying.
It is. Oh my gosh, I see it all the time. Well, the VA's, who's closing it down? Well, I'm going to talk to the VA, and and I'm thinking, there's no way this guy is. And I look at the facility that they're trying to close down, and I'm thinking it's not nothing. It's hardly anybody's in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I know in the veteran community, the heavy, and we're going to talk about the veteran suicide now. The heavy statistic, the 22 a day, accurate or not accurate?
Well, that's actually changed, because they just released a study a few weeks ago. It's the first big comprehensive study on suicide with veterans. And it went back, and again, I don't remember how many years, but because the VA has been dealing with this for so long and they've been keeping the data, people were able to look at that and see, okay, we kind of understand what's going on. If veterans on the West Coast are more likely to commit suicide, women veterans, the rate of suicide jumped. So the overall number that I've heard now, and I hate to put a number on it, but the number that I've heard now, it's still too many, but it's 17 a day.
Okay, that's one of the, because that's been a hot topic issue with the veteran community on our end when we do the veteran, on the veteran radio sites and all that, and the other veteran focused pages, is they talk about everyone gets. I mean, there's people that get tattoos. They have branded an awareness campaign saying 22 a day. So it's now down to, I would just say approximate, so that way you don't get busted for quoting something, right?
Right.
So it's approximately 17 a day, and predominantly on the West Coast. Why? What are the contributing factors to those statistics in the West Coast? Is it locale? Is it as far as where the veteran centers are at? Is it backlog? What is it specifically?
I don't know. It was a massive article, and not article, but the report was huge. If listeners want to read the report, there's a link. If you go to our connectingvets.com, in the search, just look for suicide, do the suicide search, you'll find my article. There's a link to the full report. It's a pretty comprehensive report. I'm not sure why it's California. I do know, though, I just was researching the VA just got a contract with a company to do magnetic, they treat depression with these magnetic bursts. And the test that they did a recent test on this. It was a couple years long, actually, 2 sites, 41 veterans. the veterans that they had in the group that used the magnetic field, opposed to the other ones, within a day, their suicidal tendencies started to dissipate. It took 3 days, and they were using medication and therapy as well. It took 3 days for the other group to show some similar signs. Within 9 months, they were both equal. But the people that were using this magnetic field, their thoughts went away really quickly. So the thought is, use that right away to help people who are in need. So by using this report that was just out, the VA can now make sure that the resources are where they need to have it, especially like this magnetic thing. So that's kind of how they're, I see them using the report and actually doing something. The number itself, it's a horrible number. It should be 0. And so I'm trying to focus, instead of that and the negative side of it, what the VA can do and get that information out for veterans, so that you can go to your medical center and say, hey, I need to know about this because I need the help.
No, I totally understand. Because if I'm tired of the, I'm not trying to take the whole. I mean, like you said, one is too many, but I just think that it's been like, I don't know. It just seemed like to me it's over marketed. It's instead of, like you just said, let's fix the problem. This is something that's a new age or an alternative medicine. So speaking of alternative medicine, is the VA ever going to pass medicinal marijuana? Are they going to try some type of cannabinoid?
So that's a huge topic in the newsroom. We've asked Secretary Shulkin to his face. He believes that all alternative medicines should be experimented with and tested. He can't do any testing with medical marijuana because it's a federal, the federal regulations. As soon as Congress opens that up, he's going to allow it. Awesome. I do know that if veterans are in a place where it is legal, the VA will not penalize them if they find any in their system.
Whoa! Hang on. I mean, can I quote you on that? Because I'm hearing that's why veterans are afraid of asking for it.
Yeah, no, no, and remember, you can't ask the VA. The VA won't give it to you because it's a federal thing. They can't. So let's say, okay, in DC, well, you can't buy it in DC, but somebody can gift it to you. So maybe that's not the right way. Well, Colorado,
gift it to you.
Yeah,
thank you for the weed.
DC's crazy. Yeah, that's a whole other story. So if you're a veteran in Colorado and you go to a doctor and you have your card and you get a prescription, you go to the dispensary, you get it, you take it, it's helping you with your PST. You go to the medical center to have some tests done. They are not even going to check, and if they do something and it's there, you're not penalized.
Real, because that's somebody needs to communicate that down to the troops or down to the because there are some individuals that I've heard horror stories that they're using, and they have been told, no, we can't prescribe it, no, we can't do this, and then if they take a piss test, then they get busted. So you're saying basically that they're going to be okay. I mean, I don't want to sit there and start spreading rumors, but I find it quite, where's the disconnect in communication? Because actually, to me, it's more of a communication issue as opposed to a policy issue.
But again, this isn't a policy. It's not. They're not looking for it. And I have this in an email from the press secretary's office. So I really made sure that I had something on this before I started talking about it. But the VA cannot prescribe it. If you're in a state where it's illegal, there's issues there. I'm not going to say you should do it one way or the other.
Of course.
But if you are at the VA, they're not going to penalize you for it. That's exactly what it says in because I asked the question point blank.
Do you think it's going to happen? Do you think there's going to be a change to the federal scheduling of marijuana? I'm asking you as Jonathan. I'm not asking you as a guy.
Yeah, no, I have a dog that has cancer, and we have him on weed oil, and I live in Virginia, and it's illegal in Virginia
to have CBD oil.
Yeah, so we have to get it in other methods. So me as a personal, I want it to be legal. There's so many good things that you can do with it. And there's a big test. Do you know about the test that's going on in Arizona? There's one woman, she has nothing to do with the VA, but she has a lot of veterans with PTSD And they're doing a lot of testing on it to see how it relieves some of the symptoms. So I don't remember her name, but if you Google doctor in Arizona, medical marijuana testing, she's the only one. So that's where we're going to get the information. By the time it's legal, she's going to have the information, and the VA is going to grab a hold of it and take it and run.
Wow. I can just imagine the floodgates of policy and all the politicians involved. I hate politics when it comes to stuff like that. That's something that's so simple that should be passed that everyone uses their own agenda to not let it pass.
Yeah.
There's going to be some ultra people on the right that's going to freak the hell out when this shit happens. And you see these guys are going to smoke weed and they're going to be a bunch of botheads, and that's what they're going to try to pass that. And I don't think it's going to happen. I think this time in this generation, I don't think that's going to fly anymore. That might have worked in the 60s. It's not going to happen now. And that's just me personally. I don't think it's going to fly, especially with what cannabinoid and cannabis use for medicinal purposes has been proven in other countries, and throughout the processes of individuals that have had to use cannabis for seizure medicine, who've actually, or back pain or chronic back, because there's just some things, and this is another thing I was going to discuss. Was one of my things right now, and this is where I'm going to have a little bit of odds of the VA. The only thing, I mean, again, isolated incidents I could deal with, that can be handled, but this is something that I have a real serious question about. Why is it that the VA is asking when you're going through pain management that you need to see a behavioral health guy when you clearly have had an injury, that a broken back, a broken leg? Everybody knows, and you've had it documented that it is expected for you to be in pain. Everyone knows that when you break your back and you pinch a nerve, there's no correcting it. There's no fixing it. You're just going to be in pain. And I understand there's a heavy opioid problem. Why is it that the VA, and it's now happening in the active Army, that you now have to go through a behavioral health protocol, so that way someone who doesn't know your case can say you're either having some behavioral health issues or you're an addict? What came up with that? I understand they're trying to throw numbers up saying against the opioid crisis, but why now? Why all of a sudden immediately that happened?
There were the amount of opioids that were being prescribed was ridiculous. My mother was my mom was a Pentecostal preacher, so that was kind of fun. But she was also addicted to pain, prescription pain pills. So I know what it's like personally. It's easier to stop somebody from being addicted to it than to get somebody off of it. And that's the push with the VA right now. I was actually just looking today at the page on their website that talks about this, and they have it mapped out. I think it's 3 to 5 days that you're allowed to be on opioids. And after that, they have to do something. And it's internal. They have to prove that they are checking with you, that they're making sure that you're not getting addicted, that you are getting mental help if you need it. There's certain things going on in the background that it's policy now at the VA. It's really, really good policy. It's very, very strict.
Not only that,
and
but it holds.
It's going to make a change.
Yeah, well, it's going to. It's also going to hold the care provider accountable. So, in other words, if you prescribe this individual for 3 days, and you've not initiated into follow up, then that should be on the care provider, right? I mean, it's almost the VA policing itself. It should. That's what
Absolutely.
it should be. It should be, because the Army. I don't know if you know, we've had some major command hospital commanders relieved because of. They're following the same protocol, but I've known soldiers that are in active duty right now that have gone through so much pain, that are in pain right now, that their care provider it just will stop. I guess once the new protocol was initiated, then that's when they said, "Oh, okay, now you got to go through to behavioral health."
Yeah.
But you've not provided me an out-post referral. You've not provided me a follow-up. You've not provided me another. You know what I mean? We've had more. You're going to see a lot more happening since this protocol has just been initiated. With Big Army going through, changing the way these prescriptions are being handled, and then telling soldiers, well, now you got to go to behavioral health. And that opens up another issue, too, for jobs, where you're working at, your eligibility to stay in the military just because they didn't prescribe you, or they did not assist you, or they did not provide the follow-up. It angers me that it almost makes it seem like the military and the VA now are saying that there's something wrong with me for something that you did not fix, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does. But you should know that it's not wrong with you. And now I'm going to diagnose you here. It's not wrong with you. The opioids change the way your brain works. So it doesn't matter if you're the strongest person in the world. If you take these drugs, you're going to need help. It's just the drug.
Yeah.
And one thing that the VA is really doing that's kind of fun is they're really pushing the alternative therapy.
That is so awesome. That is so awesome.
Go ahead.
No, that's awesome. That's what vets have been asking for. Vets have been crying for this to happen. They have not been waiting. Every time they get told, no, we don't do that. No, it's illegal. No, if you do that, you're going to get in trouble. No, we're going to remove your benefits from you. And these are guys in Colorado. These are guys in freaking states that allow it. No, that's not going to happen. And I'm thinking, well, that's some bullshit. I mean,
well, and there's other things besides medical marijuana. Acupuncture. Have you heard of battle acupuncture yet?
Yep, I have. I know somebody who's already doing it.
I love acupuncture. I think it's one of the best things ever. The fact that the VA is starting to look into this, and again, it's going to be slow. The VA is not a quick thing. Change does not happen quick at Department of Veterans Affairs. So it's going to be a while, but they're doing things, and it's really nice to know that they're doing things, I think.
Yeah, I hope. That's all we got is hope, man. But I'm glad. But again, I'm glad they're now starting to implement protocols to create that accountability, because this is. And you know what? Maybe that's what it was. Maybe that was the whole problem. Maybe we need somebody who's outside, fresh, not seeing what, and like you said, a medical professional, to know that, oh, well, this is easy shit, because veterans.
Yeah,
you know,
and when some of these changes kick in, you kind of look at them and think, oh, well, that was silly. Why haven't we been doing that?
Exactly. So, damn, John, we can go all night. Dude, this is you're getting me all pumped now. I'm ready to just let us know when you want some help. We'll be up there to talk to you too. We don't mind.
All right.
So John, hey, thanks for coming on. We really appreciate you hanging out with us. And again, you're more than welcome to come back. And if there's any initiatives or any issues, especially when it comes to medicinal marijuana getting passed or getting pushed through the system, we definitely want to. Dude, you're the horse's mouth, man. Just pretty much. So you're more than welcome to come on WTF Nation Radio.
All right, I'll let you know what we hear.
All right, man. Hey, thanks. Have a good one.
Thank you. You too.
You too. Whoa. Could you imagine that? Man. God, I couldn't even imagine what would happen if... Dude, that's unfreaking real. Unreal. Oh, man. God. This is groundbreaking. So glad it was happening. Again, that was Jonathan Cowhanger. From CBS Radio, ConnectingVets.com. Wow. Go on his website. We got it pinned on the...
The person whom you're trying to reach is currently unavailable.
Oh, okay. Whoa. Everyone's hanging up on me. So, anywho, we're going to take a quick break right now. Listen to some tunes, and then, y'all thank you all for being on here. Oh, let me kill the Facebook Live feed so I don't get in trouble. When I found out today, I might get in trouble anyways. But anyways, we'll just we'll fix that real quick. And Facebook Live, we're shutting off. So jump on here in a minute for part 3, so we can talk about the main page update and go through the main page stuff and talk about some other issues too. Because it's actually going to have what we just discussed is now going to be talking about what General Milley wants to do, Chief of Staff of the Army. So with that, Facebook Live, I'm cutting you out. If you guys want to listen on a Mixer, then check us there at mixer.com/WTF Nation Radio. Shouts.
Is that actually a picture of the Antichrist crying? I like it. It's tasty.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shot.
Turn the lights. Well, it definitely is all about the visuals. Although, pretty sure it's illegal.
Good evening, boys and girls. This is Tim Kennedy. I'm a Special Forces sniper, a Ranger qualified Green Beret, a UFC fighter. Please listen to us and the shenanigans that we're going to say. We will insult you. There will be racial slurs. We will be sexist. We will offend you. But There will be magic, and a unicorn will be raped. So enjoy the show. Thank you for listening on WTF Nation Radio.
And we're back. Welcome back to part 3 starting time. WTFNationRadio.com. Give us our moments. 19 August. Or 19 August. Damn, I'm losing it. 19 October 2017. So Spanky, what do you think about that? What do you think about what do you think about that? The weed thing. That weed.
Well, I live in a state where, it's not legal yet. And the only time I've disclosed it to my docs
Yeah, just saying. Yeah, go ahead.
is for anesthesia. I thought that guy needed to know.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Other than that, I really don't think they care or need to know.
Yeah, just for reasons.
But yes, I think that, it should become a more viable option for a lot of us, because I know I went from 10 prescriptions on active duty to 2.
That is some powerful shit. You hit it here first on WTFNationRadio.com. I don't think I've ever heard it ever being put out that the Secretary of the VA was ever going to. No one knew what his story was going to be on it. You know what I mean? Nobody knew what he was going to say. So to hear this, that's awesome. Weed.
Absolutely.
Gosh, I'm not saying this purely for a recreational reason, because I have broken bones and joints, and no pun intended. That stuff. I'm hurt. I'm hurting too. I know I'm going to be suffering. So, hey, make sure you guys on the front desk get a hold of him and get him with Boone Cutler stuff for his dog.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I will hook that up.
Yeah, hook that up, because that's he says he's got to do whatever. But man, that was a good interview. I think it was pretty good. I mean, once we started we started rolling on the VA stuff, because I was kind of like dancing around it, and then I said, fuck it. Let's see what happens.
We all know, you kind of dance around, but you're going to say what you want to say, and it turned out absolutely great.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I was, and then I was like, don't ask the weed. And I'm like, what, fuck it. The guy, let's see what happens. Let's see what he says. He's the horse's mouth. I think it's so awesome. I couldn't even imagine what would happen when, I don't know who's going to pay for it. I mean, come on, Branko, it's a benefit, right? Do you, I mean, I'm not in the VA system right now, so when you get prescribed medication, do you pay for it? Right?
I mean, I don't, but I'm assuming that, there'll probably be co-pays, that, or whatever.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
I can't imagine that it'd be any more expensive than some of the other prescription drugs that they were giving me before.
Yeah, exactly. And probably cheaper.
I mean, considering, if I had a little bit of knowledge and could, I could kill any kind of plant there is, so it wouldn't be me growing it, but exactly, I mean, I would think it'd be cheaper.
I'm not talking
than
about
having to.
Well, I'll be killing some plants, all right.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, how could it not be cheaper if you're growing a plant compared to, constructing some kind of chemical compound to make a pill?
That's right. I don't know if it affects a narcissistic behavior, but that would mean that I'll be back with my first 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'd be with that wife, that ex-wife that called me narcissistic. So I don't know. I was gonna make a Bill Cosby joke, but it's not cool to reference Bill Cosby anymore, is it? Is his humor or something like that?
You can do what you want.
No, he made a joke a long time ago that he asked somebody who was using cocaine, and he said, well, why do you use cocaine? And the guy he was asking said, well, it stimulates your personality. He's like, yeah, but what if you're an asshole? So yeah, it was just, that was a joke.
It makes you a bigger asshole.
Yeah, exactly. So that was back when Bill Cosby was funny, and before he became America's dad. And
right. Back when we used to sit around the TV in the 80s and watch that show every,
exactly.
whatever day of the week it came on.
It's such a crush on Lisa Bonet. Woo woo. Yeah. I'm just saying. So I'm curious. I don't know, Branko, if you have your meds that are being prescribed. Like I said, I don't know. Do you have medication that's prescribed? You said there's a copay, right?
I don't pay one because I get mine filled in, a military pharmacy. I would assume, I have filled them in off those pharmacies, and I have to pay a copay now. So,
yeah,
but yeah.
I don't see one out, right? I mean, why wouldn't you? I couldn't even imagine You're walking into a dispensary and it's like, here's my card. Or wait a minute. Or the pharmacy, like CVS would have them or something like that. You know, you go up to a CVS or Walgreens and just walk in there and I'm here for my weed. I mean, I'm here for my prescription. Because there's going to be so many ultra conservatives that are so anti-marijuana, medicinal marijuana usage. They're going to be so freaking. I'm sorry. I think it's going to be. There's going to be. There's going to be weed crime. There's going to be weed hate crimes. Like there'll be people because once it passed and once it gets descheduled, I have a feeling that there's going to be more crimes against people who use weed than what I mean, the people that don't. Because it'd be treated like how people smoke. You know what I mean? Because I used to smoke, and I know I'd get funny fucking looks when I was smoking a cigarette. But I was across the street from a building, and the people are like, "Yeah, when you're smoking, I can smell the smoke from here." Okay, I got you.
Yeah, I still get all the dirty looks, everything that can ever imagine, because I haven't completely quit smoking yet. So yeah, people sometimes look at me like I murdered a kitten. Because I lit up a cigarette and I'm too close to something.
Yeah, but what about freaking, again, the people that are going to be the anti-weed people? Anti-weed. They're going to be, look at, because if you've never been around marijuana and you smell it, you'll know what it is. If you've never smelled marijuana before, marijuana's bad and good, and if you've never smelled it before and you finally smell it for the first time, you will know it.
Yes, it's a very distinct smell. Even if you haven't smelt it in 20 years, you'll know exactly what that smell is.
It's right next to burnt hair.
Oh God.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that kind of distinct smell.
The distinct smell like burnt hair or trash in Iraq, or just those take me back smells. So when you smell weed and you've never smelled it before, you're gonna be like, "Ooh, man, what's the smell?" And there's gonna be people like, "Oh well, now it smells like me." I can't wait. Oh man, is there gonna be like a rule against like smoking near a church or something like that? If you,
yeah, 50 feet within a school, church, just like the the weapons laws, you can't have them because I'm sure that'll work.
You can.
But I can't imagine, going to light up.
Not talking about the smell.
While I'm picking up my kid from school or anything.
Well, obviously, but what if you have a joint with you when you're taking a kid to school?
Oh, well, I guess the fines will double.
I don't know. See, that's what I'm saying. How
they're going to work that out?
Well, no, because think
Just
about
like if I'm accidentally texting on my phone one time and got that ticket.
Oh man, accidentally texting? How do you accidentally text?
I wasn't even I picked it up to hit the ignore button on my phone.
Of course.
So I wasn't even really texting. I was like hitting the ignore, I'm not taking your call button, and the MP pulled me over. So not accidentally texting, that was the wrong term, but yeah, I got pulled over in the school zone on post because I picked up my phone to hit ignore.
Well, I mean, a lot of the laws that have been written for marijuana were because of the federal scheduling against. Everyone's like, "Well, you support marijuana? You guys don't know that? I just thought people didn't know that." Yeah, I support marijuana, medicinal marijuana, recreational use marijuana. I support it 100%, 100%. However, I mean, I don't want you to be like a fucking helicopter pilot or work on me and shit. If you're like a surgeon or something like smoking weed and shit, then that should be like obviously you can't be. It's almost like drunk on duty. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I mean, like I said, I'm not going to, smoke and drive or anything else, just like I wouldn't drink and drive,
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I would not, nah, it's okay. Yes, I do support the use of medicinal marijuana. Everyone think I'm like a raging conservative or something? I love it. Oh, man. You're gonna smoke weed around my house. You're not coming over. I just unfriended you. Thank you. I love it.
I mean, when people unfriend me, it's like, oh, well, the trash takes itself out sometimes. I don't have to go through my friends list.
Unfriending me for what? The weed? And the weed?
It's actually funny because it's like since I retired and don't have to censor myself as much, how many people have unfriended me. I'm like, well,
my biggest thing again is the whole You people fucking getting mad at me now because everyone thought I must have been the bastion of fucking conservatism or some shit like that. Like I was a fucking. Love it. Yeah, weed. You guys have no idea. Weed. Join us for a special edition of the Green Room, where Ice is finally retired.
Oh my gosh, it's the Sarna's time, not the Green Room. Oops.
Sorry, I know. Hey,
see what happens when
yeah.
you get closer to those dates.
Yep. Hey, Green Room, call up. I should have had you guys call up and some of this shit, but it just hit me now. About that, and you guys in the Green Room that are listening right now, give me a buzz. I need to ask you a question. Let me ask you something. You're fitting to raise up and get your weed on, motherfucker. There's a couple of questions that I have to ask now that you've got to this point. Now that we're finding out about the legality of what Secretary Shulkin's planning on doing, which I think is quite fascinating. Good on you. I'm just curious to see what he wants to do. What he wants to do as far as, okay, now that we're doing this, now how is it going to happen? Well, all the states that have now, because when you think about it, it's like the Berlin Wall and shit. Once you defederalize, once you decriminalize marijuana on a fucking national fucking level, then what? All the states that have marijuana laws, what does that negate them? Because those laws were tied to that, right?
Well, yeah, and I think that what's going to happen is, because I've seen like the receipts, like from Colorado, for instance, like if I had happened to, drive through there a couple times a year, that's when I think that the federal government, once they decide to decriminalize it, they're going to get their hands into that money. That's, I think that's the only way that it's going to make a case is like how much money can the government make off of it compared to whatever they're getting paid from, the pharmaceutical companies to keep it illegal.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. Then it's going to be now watch the states. Well, it's illegal. You can't have it. Now watch the states fucking crack down on it. It's just like the Second Amendment. It'll turn like a Second Amendment issue. It'll be like you can't have, like California has one of the most restrictive fucking gun laws in the world, but Texas and Florida just they don't give a fuck. It's a Second Amendment, right? So I have a feeling what's going to happen is some of the states are now going to fucking push. There's going to be some pushback. Think about a weed freaking civil war. The first freaking...
No, I've never thought of it like that either.
That's what I'm saying. You could go to war for weed. Man.
Like I said, just, the only way I think about it is it all just comes down to money. Like who's going to make the most money off of what?
Mm-hmm.
Like pharmacy or, recreational and medicinal marijuana.
Yeah, it's awesome. I really want to... I really, really want to see. I'm not saying I like watching shit burn. No pun intended. I've said joint and burn. I'm trying to use some other. I'm trying to use some other medicinal marijuana subjects here. But I'm not. I'll be honest with you. I don't think. I don't think the local governments are going to be prepared for what happens when. And everyone's talking about it's coming soon. You know what I mean? Everyone is kind of moving to that. This may be happening. And if it is happening, and you've already got other, here's why I think it's going to happen. If you have all these agencies and these departments of like the Department of Veteran Affairs, some other departments that are preparing for this, then that means they must know something. If that makes any sense. They must know that something's going to pass, that we're about ready to get some weed. Well, maybe am I making fun of it, or am I getting too excited about it?
No, I don't think you're making fun of it, but you're probably right. Like, it's going to probably keep happening one state at a time. But even in those states, well, I can't speak for all of those states, just, the ones that I've seen myself, it's not even like Colorado, for instance, you can't buy it anywhere, just anywhere in Colorado. It's only in certain counties. So it's not even like legal, or it's legal I guess, decriminalized, I guess is the term, in Colorado, but you can't buy it all over the state.
Oh, you can't? Oh, so it's not like fucking,
No,
it's not like Nevada
no,
where you
like
go,
the
okay.
whole eastern pretty much part of the state, there's no dispensaries or anywhere where you can buy it. Like pretty much the whole eastern part of the state. Like all up and down the I-25 part of Colorado, you can. I don't know about the western part of the state because, I haven't been there, but yeah, there's nowhere in the eastern part of the state, like on the back roads that I usually like to drive. Yeah, there's nowhere there. But yeah, it's not legal in any of those counties to, sell or buy it.
I would think. I'm just wondering because I really think that there's going to be some big drama with that, and the states are going to flip the fuck out, and they're going to be like, yeah, because the government says we would like to pass it, but the government says it. You know what I mean? There's so many things, but now all this and the VA, the guy, man, come on, the VA is about man. Nation, that's news because we didn't hear anything about it.
No.
We did not hear anything about it. Not to mention the fact that we've heard stories, and that's why I was asking for the stoners. Is that there's been cases where veterans in Colorado, you know what I mean? That they said they're gonna get in trouble. And the guy says, "No, you're not." I'm like, "What the hell?" If it's legal, then and it's a prescription and it's done, then they're good to go. So. Not only are they going to endorse it, but if in states that it's currently legal, you're not going to get penalized for it. So where's the fucking disconnect? You know what I mean? That's what's frustrating me right now.
Right. And I can say, like, the people that I know personally that share it, usually they just won't, prescribe narcotics or anything anymore. Again, usually if you're, smoking or, taking in any form, you don't really need narcotics anymore. That's just been, like I said, my personal experience. So, and like I said, I just haven't felt the need to disclose it because I just stopped taking all those kind of medications, except to my anesthesiologist. I figured that guy probably needed to know. Yeah. Like, you're about to put me under. You need to know what's really all inside of me.
Yeah, I just let you know right now that before you do that extra bag of Michael Jackson freaking happy sauce, then oh yeah, that didn't sound right. Then you need to then you need to go ahead and well, I mean, it's almost like West Virginia. You hear what West Virginia's doing now? So West Virginia is exempting military retirement pay from state income tax. West Virginia.
I've always just lived in states where there wasn't any of that. So
well, no, there's a lot of states that I thought would, because of where they're at, would be supportive to veterans, and well, they say they are, but then as soon as you see what benefits they have for veterans, it's almost like zero. You know what I mean? You don't, and then the states that I didn't expect to be supportive of veterans are like, I don't know, West Virginia, that they passed a freaking on Tuesday. A debate in their everyone's going back and forth and had amendments to it, and then they exempts Social Security for making less than $50,000 from this egregious double taxation that occurs. So we've been speaking down for both sides of the aisle for more than a couple of years. This is groundbreaking shit. West Virginia. Hey, other states, why don't you I wonder do they have medicinal marijuana there?
Let me put it.
I wonder if they do. If they have medicinal marijuana, because you know what? If that doesn't, might be something to add on the ICE places to retire. Might have to check it out. It might be one of those things to where, might have to see what when I do my retirement state finding trip. And be like, okay, let's see what's up. So add more to that. Add that to the list.
Beginning no sooner than July of 2019.
Medicinal marijuana.
That's yes, but it's only for certain conditions right now, so it's not recreational yet. And it was just signed into law on April 19th in 2017 by their governor. There's certain qualifying medical conditions. So it's not, recreational there, but just for medical.
Wow.
PTSD happens to be on that list, though.
Wow. So military time has been exempted from state income tax, and they're going to have some medicinal marijuana. Wow.
Yes.
West Virginia. Well, way to go, West Virginia. Fuck yeah, dude. That's some good shit. Holy crap. I didn't exhale. Oh, I won't. I ain't going to exhale, Heath, when I, yeah. Yeah. I am not going to exhale. So, man, I'm sorry I got off on a tangent about the marijuanas. Yeah, that's right. Pharmaceutical companies don't want it. Paper industry don't want it either. I don't know exactly. Ginger, legalize it. Legalize marijuana. So another news right now, we got the 2017 International Sniper Competition, and right now, day 3, the Michigan National Guard. The Michigan National Guard is in first place. Let me say that again. The Michigan National Guard, 3rd Ranger Battalion, 3rd Battalion, 75th Ranger Regiment is in 2nd, and then the National Guard Warrior Training Center is 3rd. The Coast Guard, the Coasties are number 4. Marine Corps, they're on number 5, and then Army National Guard All Guard Team, 7th Special Forces Group, Denmark, the 173rd Airborne Brigade, and in 10th place, the Marine Corps School of Infantry. So, wow. The Guard. That's impressive.
Didn't the Michigan National Guard win last year? I'm trying to look that up.
Oh, you're talking about the guy that was part of the Best Ranger competition that won that, right? Or the Best Medic.
Oh,
it seems,
that's exactly right.
It would seem that it would seem that these guys lately, the National Guard has been they took the Connolly Cup, which is the best tanker competition, I guess you'd say. National Guard, I think the National Guard, no, I think it might have been the 82nd. It was a National Guard and 82nd Medic, I can't remember. But I know what you're talking about. In the last few years, National Guards have been sweeping the best competitions. Best Medic, best Sniper, best Ranger, best Tanker, best motor pool. I don't know if I can whatever, but anyways, they've been rocking it, man. So it's day 3 of the sniper competition. So you guys, hey, hang in there, man. You guys are kicking ass. I couldn't do that shit. I don't have the patience for fucking being doing that crap. But anyways, anywho, so yes, we're still posting here now. Again, you'll notice that the hair and the individual is fucked up hair. So it doesn't matter if what gender, what race, what rank. If you got fucked up hair, we gonna post it. It doesn't matter. Sarns, check your troops, man. Another one that I thought was pretty cool was there was a bazaar and asked somebody to sew a fucking Ranger air assault and Pathfinder badge. And it was an actual Toyota Pathfinder. Not a.
I'm like, so I've been to those bazaars before, and asked for certain things. I'm like, you got to bring them a picture. Yeah, that's really just
exactly. You have to be specific. You have to be specific and tell them, hey, yes, they're mixed. The 6-person mixed gender lift, because if it was man, it would only be like a 4-man lift. So yeah, we're making fun of that gender stuff. And we think it's funny. We just think it's funny that they're actually saying that it takes 6 people of mixed genders to do it. So you got to find mixed gender people. Sorry,
well, I mean,
I can't move
this
thing
tent now, isn't it?
No, I'm saying, hey, Sarn, I can't move this. Why? Because it says I need 6 mixed genders, and I'm 1 gender. So I'm just joking around. Army Ingenuity. Yep, you get that hoopty at the barracks, the American flag. We have Jody. Let's see. We got what else we got posted up on there? NTC stuff. We got the CIF gags, of course. Mortar pole. Blah 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 blah. And then we got somebody who I've done this before. You've gone on the field and it's so freaking hot. You just drop trowel so you don't get mud butt and you don't get monkey ass. and you just drop trow. And well, I mean, I don't have my pants around my ankles like that, but I would have at least my I had my pants off and just chill out in the field and shit. So, and then
yeah.
I'm
looking at that. It's like I've never seen anybody do it like that. I mean, like I've seen them get, everybody get hot and like start stripping down.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I've done it. I've done where I have taken off my pants, and then that's it. I hung my pants up on a tree or something like that, and that way when we got some downtime, because it would just be so fucking hot when you're trying to take a nap, especially in environments that are really freaking humid. Yes, we had some members of the WTF Nation Radio staff attend an exclusive Hollywood screening of Thank You for Your Service, which is awesome. Guys, be on the lookout. WTF Nation, you never know. You might see us out there. You might meet one of us out in some of these private screenings. You will not get noticed. You'll just see bloop popped up. And if you're watching a movie and you happen to see or you find out who we are, you might end up getting might be getting a trinket or something like that. I know when we did the Range 15 one, I was carrying around some swag. Nobody knew who I was. They're like, who's this dude walking around the backpack? Okay, well then, here. Oh, man. Hey, Sarnes and the guard, fix that fucking helmet cover. I'm tired of seeing that shit. So, again, we got a lot of guests coming on. We got more guests coming on. Shit, we got still more, right? We have more. We have fucking Penny Duncan from Hands Across America. Is this the same Hands Across America from back in the day? Or is this a new one?
No, I don't think it's exactly the same.
All right. I was
This is Hands Across America Standing United.
It's Standing United. Okay, because I remember there was a Hands Across America when I was younger, back in my 20s or something like that, early 30s or something like that.
Yeah, back in my teenage years. Nah.
Oh, it was your teenage years. Okay, but it's the same.
Yeah,
thing, right?
I'm only just barely younger than you, Ice. Remember?
Yes.
You know.
I was trying to give you credit. That's what I was saying. I was old. I didn't want to make it sound like you were the same age. Because then people are gonna think, oh my god, Ice and Spanky are ancient or something like that. And actually, I'm old. So But yeah, so she's Penny Ayala Duncan has been a Gold Star widow for 13 years, and she's an advocate for suicide survivors and families of those who deserve to be honored, even though they died by suicide. In the recent national anthem and NFL controversy, she's made it her goal to reunite Americans. We are one nation, and our differences is what makes our nation great. And she wants to express the importance of standing while the national anthem is playing. Ooh, lordy, that is some controversy there. We got people back and forth that are even in our note. Jose is not on vacation. Yeah, some people feel a certain way about it. Some people don't. And just whatever. Some people don't care. And not any of those decisions are fine. Just respect those that have made the decisions to support or not support that. I don't watch football anymore, so everyone's dropping references to sports, and I'm like, yeah, okay. Well, I mean, I would like to, man. In the back of my mind, I'm like, I want to watch football, but all this bullshit, I have to hold true. I have to hang in there. You know what I mean?
Oh well, yeah. You made your decision.
I did. I made my decision. I had to stick with it.
I made my decision like a long time ago, and I really don't watch TV unless it's Netflix or Hulu
or Game of Thrones. Yeah.
Well, yeah, absolutely. But it's Sarn's time. Don't want to get me off on that tangent.
Exactly. Yeah. We have to have our own. You said you guys are gonna trap me one day and throw some fucking Sarn's time at me. So,
I know.
She's gonna be on Monday. And then that following Friday or Saturday? Oh wait, is this the yeah. Ooh, yeah. Stay tuned for a pre-Halloween show with Jay Reddy. Ooh, tinfoil hats and everything. We got Grave Stevens from the Research and Investigations of the Paranormal, also known as RIP. Ooh, I like the little pun there. RIP.
I know, right?
I know. As a retired first sergeant who started investigating the paranormal events in the state of Texas, which if you've lived in Texas or from Texas, you'll know there's some weird shit going on in there sometimes you can't explain. That's why all my exes live in Texas, and he'll be on to talk about the organization, his team, and what they do and what they've experienced using scientific methods to gain a better understanding of unexplained events. Oh, this is my favorite fucking subject, and it's before Halloween. Fuck, dude, this is going to be a good show. And with Jay Reddy, and with tinfoil hat stuff going on, some savagery. Cannot complain, dude. Cannot complain. That's going to be, it's going to be the shit. weed. I can't think about the VA saying, yeah, we're going to go forward with weed. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm pumped. What is this right here? Don't forget we have our partners with a Warhorse for Veterans and Project Overwatch. And other partner, the Veterans Report, Jim Cannon at KHB, Pittsburgh. God, I can't believe we're doing that. That was so weird.
Oh, I know.
That is
so proud of you.
Oh, what? Proud of me what? For what? Not cussing or something?
Yeah, exactly.
We're not dropping it.
I was very proud.
Dude, what are you talking about now? I'm afraid of dropping F-bombs right now. I'm like, I was talking to the guest, and I could have said fuck whatever, and I'm like, oh, I'm not going to say the F word. I'm not going to drop an F-bomb. I'm thinking, wait a minute, you can. Fucking say it. I'm censoring myself.
Well, see? Starting a, snack fund quarter jar.
Oh, my God.
Every time y'all say one. I'm going to be rich and fat and happy.
No, would you say a snack fund?
Yes.
It should be a taco fund. It should be a taco fund. Every because a taco's pretty cheap, right? So
well, yeah, depending on where I go, but they're all really pretty cheap. I can go to Mission Taco and get 5 for $1.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it'd be if I drop an F-bomb on syndicated radio, then I would have to pay. It would be a taco. No, it'd be like 5 tacos. I have to make 5 tacos.
See?
So I have to be careful. Otherwise, I'll be put on KP for tacos.
I was so proud though.
Oh no, it was hard. It was hard. My hands were shaking. So.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah. So it was difficult because you don't realize how much if you pay attention to yourself cussing and you're paying attention to not cussing, it's harder. But if you just say, okay, don't cuss. Because I've had conversations where I thought I have not cussed, and someone's like, dude, did you just really say that? I'm like, what'd I say? You said shit and fuck and ass. I'm like, damn, did I? And I'm thinking, did I really say that? I don't think I said that, dude. No, dude, you said that. You literally told that dude, fuck it. Okay.
Oh, I know. I do it all the time. And even when I'm in situations where I'm not supposed to, it's usually like, let me just shut my mouth for a minute and like reprocess everything that's about to come out my mouth, and then I still mess it up.
It almost made me ramble when I was on air and not to drop the F-bomb. I was literally going, I'm not trying to, there's got to be where you got to be cognizant of what you're saying.
Yeah, and they teach you like instructor schools and stuff to not use like and and all those crutch words and everything. Well, those crutch words for me are usually like butt, shit, goddamn it, and blah 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 blah. I'm like,
exactly.
So now I'm all like,
that's what I'm saying. You're like, you're always talking about radio etiquette, and yeah, but you just did not try to say shit, dick, pussy, ass, motherfucker on real radio. Man, dude, that was hard. That was really freaking hard.
All those rules.
This isn't NAM, son. Yeah, so we're with KHB, hanging out with them, and so stay tuned for more future projects, hanging out with them, and it's gonna be awesome. They also have a webpage, the Veterans Report. You have to spell it out. It's like the Drudge Report, but it's all veteran-related stuff. And if you jump on there, you're actually gonna see us on the podcast at WTF Nation Radio, which is I think pretty cool. Check them out, theveteransreport.com, and also you'll be able to hear their shows. The Veterans Report comes out on Saturday at 1700 Eastern Standard Time, and then that show is rebroadcasted the following Friday. So again, I think it's a good thing. Oh man, what else was I gonna say? I was gonna say something else. Hang on, let me see. Let me jump in the inbox right quick and see what we got going on. License plates. Yep, thank you. We appreciate all the license plates. We got to get more, like, sir to you, those license plates. We've been getting those a lot. So get us some other ones. Get us some other license plates. If you see some crazy ass license plates, especially when you see CSMs, sergeants, majors, and stuff like that, acting, I don't know, CSMY we always love those. I don't understand why. No. Anyways, that's another story. That's for Monday. But anywho, there's one thing that I was going to talk about, and it was going to tie into the VA I wouldn't say mess, but it was going to tie into the VA situation. There is a initiative in the Army. The Army is finally deciding to say we need to treat and we need to rehab our soldiers like sports athletes. Now, if you guys remember, we had David Keith from Task Force Dagger, and he works with the rehabilitative programs and works with the U.S. SOCOM Care Coalition, and they have a system called the Thor 3 program. And if you guys didn't miss that show, it was a good show too. They discussed several rehab facilities and what it does and all that. And the Thor 3 program basically gets somebody who's been injured, and it gets them rehabbed to either fit to fight standards, or it gets them to ability to where they're rehabbed. And then if they have to get medically boarded, then they will have a quality of life, will be trained. It is one of those things where you have to go through it. It is called a THOR, stands for the Tactical Human Optimization, Rapid Rehabilitation, and Reconditioning. And this is what the special operations community uses. The Army doesn't. The Army right now is, if you're on profile, you suck, you're fucking worthless, get the fuck out, and you're out of here. That's what pisses me off about how Big Army treats soldiers when they're injured. And I'm going to go on, I wouldn't say a rant, but I'm just going to, it's one of those, but that's none of my business, the Kermit drinking the sweet tea. But when a soldier gets hurt and injured, he's not a number for fucking NTC or JRTC. That individual needs to get fixed. That individual needs to get rehab. Because when you have a soldier that has an actual issue that needs to get fixed, and you decide, I need numbers because Objective T or my Raider says that I need to have lottie-dottie everybody there, then I need to go ahead and deploy them to JRTC. So the Vice Chief of Staff has put out, we need to we need to look at stuff of nutrition and preventive physical therapy. We need to look at what professional sports teams do and have because we have incredible young women, but we need, what's good enough for the NFL. Why don't we have something like that? Hey, Army, look within yourselves. Look within yourselves. The Special Operations community already has that program. They already have those type of rehabilitative programs to get those warriors back on their feet, to include amputees, individuals who've suffered bad jumps, who've suffered catastrophic injuries that you not realize that this person may not be walking again. I don't really understand how come the Army is going Matt Damon when it comes to taking care of soldiers at the physical level. I know you, Spanky, you've gone through MedBoard process. I mean, I'm not going to get into specifics, but you wish.
Oh no, I have.
But you wish, but would have been nice to have some sort of rehabilitative program to get I don't know, because they do it.
Oh,
I'm trying to get one of my buddies who's involved in the Thor 3 program, and he's of course he's got to go through all the proper protocols through their PAO office and all that to talk about it. They do that all the time. They laugh. That community laughs at us because they're like, yeah, if we break our leg or we break our foot or we get hurt, then we go through the Thor 3 program. What the fuck is that? And it's like, yeah, it's where you get rehabbed, and you have doctors, physical therapists, sports nutritionists there to assist you to get you on your feet. I mean, your injury, Spanky, don't you think it'd have helped you out if you had somebody like that full time?
Oh, absolutely. Especially for, my lower back injuries.
Yeah.
If I would have had that when it first happened, I wouldn't be in the situation I am now.
And that's
probably wouldn't have been on a permanent profile at about my 15-year mark.
Bingo. And that's what I was about to say, because this is the big circle of life when it comes to medical benefits and how you should be treated. Because here's the way I see it: if the Army injured you and they hurt you, they need to fix you. They don't sit there and say, no, now you're a shitbird and you need to go on profile, and now you're not going to get promoted. You need to get the fuck out. We're done with you. Why don't you sit there and focus in and fix the soldiers, and then that's it. You'll be good to go.
Oh, and trust me, every time I went to a new unit, it's like you have to, I had to prove myself double than anybody else, because I was on a profile and this, that, whatever. And I'm not going to lie, I got promoted to Sergeant First Class on my permanent profile. And when it happened, I was shocked as shit more than probably everybody else.
Well, I mean, I've known individuals the same way. They've been injured and they've been promoted as well. which goes to show that the promotion system will promote people on profile. So it's not a stigma. You want to talk about the stigma of individuals not seeking help. The Army needs to do that. Reach within yourself, Army, and talk to the special operations community. And I guarantee it, I'm willing to bet there's probably some cases in there where there's individuals that have endured an injury, and then now they are going through this Thor 3 thingy, and they're good to go. And they're now able to fight. And I mean, rehab, physical therapy and rehab is that. It's a long, arduous process, but it is command directed. That's what tripped me out. That's what got my attention. This is command directed. This is like, if someone it is mandated by the command. You will not interfere with this soldier's appointments to do this fucking program. I'm thinking, what the fuck, dude? Really? God,
and here the rest of the Army is like, oh, you're going to cancel all your physical therapy appointments because we're going in the field.
We need you for JRTC. We need you for NTC. The Army needs to think right now and fast instead of wasting all this money. Because I guarantee it, they're not going to look at the guy who has been hurt for 5 to 10 years because he got hurt in a fucking jump, or he got hurt doing something, whatever. They're gonna overlook that. Special operations community has physical therapists, sport athlete therapists, and sports medicine to do this already. Behind the power curve. Maybe instead of doing fucking PowerPoint slides and shit, you should focus on I don't know, the soldier. That will be a novel idea. And then you'll see, yeah. Now what? Now what you got?
Right.
I hate how the Army just oversees stuff like that. Well, we don't know. Maybe we need to have this new program. Look within yourselves, Army. You have a lot of competent leaders, young leaders in there that are already implemented in some programs that are fucking outstanding. Like I said, when Task Force Dagger came on the show and we were talking about it, and he was talking about all these programs that he's doing with the Cara Coalition and then all this other rehab stuff for injured soldiers. Wow. Why is it the Army could do it, and the Army's got a bigger budget than SOCOM. I mean, look, how much it costs for a tank, or how much it costs for a helicopter or something like that. No, we got to make sure a soldier goes to NTC.
Right. And then, you keep hearing, and even before I retired, Sergeant of the Army is talking about, 10% of the Army is non-deployable.
It probably would not have been non-deployable had you been fixed.
Yes, exactly. And I can just speak, from the numbers I've seen myself, because it was part of my job to go through that list name by name by name. And that 10% includes, UCMJ, stuff like that, stuff that, they're not going to be non-deployable for long. But, like, for instance, my name was always on that list, but that was also, I was, starting the med board process. But once again, if there was a program like that in place, probably, 7 years before, I never would have been on that list. And I might still be in the Army today. Might. Probably not, because I'm over 20 years, but might.
No, for real. Because
I would have had the choice.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what David Keith was saying when they were talking about the Care Coalition stuff, and they were saying specifically that they have input. You could have been retained had you gone through a program like this. But now they're like, oh, well, you need to, we need you for GRTC. Let's go ahead and go.
And me being the stubborn ass that I was, for the longest time, it was like, I had soldiers, yeah, it hurts, but I'm still going to do all this shit anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, I was in those positions, not going to let them see me hurt and keep eating pain pills and go on about my day.
Yeah, exactly. So again, hey, Army, how about you look within your formations, and you'll see that there's already programs in place for this. I want to get these guys on here too, and they can talk about it. So there's some of the stuff in here, and the goals of it is to increase physical and mental capabilities and help soldiers recover more rapidly from injuries sustained in combat or training, and stay healthy and be able to contribute longer. The program differs from the Army fitness programs because it in several important ways that it has a holistic approach to improving physical and mental performance. It is proven. It has a robust with conditioning coaches, coordinators, strength coordinators, rehab specialists, dietitians, and cognitive enhancement specialists to deliver training and rehab services that are on par with those provided to professional sports team. Why are we looking out here? And this is a Rand article. I'm pulling this from Rand. Yeah, yeah. We are soldiers. So they need to freaking do it. I don't get it. We need to find out and spend money how we're going to do this shit. You really are disconnected from the Army.
Or how much money have they probably spent studying a new APFT? You know, like they're probably still never going to change.
They're going to talk
like,
about that.
They've been talking about changing it since I was, you know, a young, just got promoted to sergeant.
They're talking about the OPAT, the Occupational Physical Assessment Test. That thing that you're going to try to turn, you know, you're going to turn fat Joe Baba Donuts into a freaking CrossFit dude in like a couple weeks, and then wonder why he's not losing weight. But you're making, you know what I mean? Man, whatever.
Yeah, right. But they can spend all that money on that and studying it, and still have the same APFT we've had for, I don't know, since way before I came in. But you know, you can't spend the money on something that will actually benefit us.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. No, heaven forbid. Oh, no, we want you to go GRTC. I have a bone sticking out of my leg. Yeah, but can you walk? But did you die? You know what I mean? Like,
right?
Oh, my God. Oh, man. I love
just imagining a child saying that now.
I love the Army, though. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes I just don't think that they don't, you know, how about they look inward? I'm totally shocked about that. They don't do that. God. So I'm trying to get these guys on here from the Care Coalition and the Thor 3 program. And like I said, it's a big deal in the soft community, man. Like I said, they got guys that know shit. It is mandatory. So if someone says, hey, where you're at? They're doing Thor. Oh, okay. That's it. There's no interruptions. There's nothing. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, dude. That's really for real? That really fucking happens? Like commanders actually endorse physical fitness? They actually connect that an injury and physical fitness is connected? Oh my God.
I mean, I don't know. Like if you can recover from an injury faster, that's going to take them off your, you know, non-deployable list. It sounds like common sense to me. I know I wasn't supposed to have any of that though. So.
Oh man, I know. Yeah, no, stop. That's none of my business.
Get your tea.
Get my tea. Get my tea. It's unreal. Again, so that was one of the things that I was kind of laughing about. We need to have a. We need this. This needs to change. I think that there's talent management and understanding physical fitness. Okay. All right. Like what? It's gonna be crazy. It is gonna be crazy. The Army's changing so fucking fast now. What they want to do, you have to go to AUSA to find out. Everyone's like, hey, so how was AUSA? Oh man, it was like, yeah. No, so what'd you see? Well, you saw WTF moments, right? You saw the pinks and greens. Yeah. But what did they talk about? What initiatives? Dude, they had this tank sitting in there, and I'm like, yeah. But what else? I mean, what really happened? What did the chief of staff say? What does the Army say? Dude, you better do 240 and above, or you're never gonna get promoted. No, what's happening with the Army? What are we doing? Are we growing? Are we shrinking? I have to find this shit out there. You know, some people in the inbox. Hey, Ice, check this out. Oh, this is cool. What is this? Oh yeah, look at this. Did he really say that? It's just bullshit up the yin yang. You got to be those guys that yeah. So you must attend AUSA to understand what it is. But yeah. So again, a great program that the soft community has. I think the Army needs to look inward. And I don't know. You know what? I bet you if they check them out, I bet you there are people on profile that are going through Thor 3 that can out PT guys who aren't on profile in Big Army. I'm just saying.
Oh, I believe it.
No, because they're, like I said, they're getting rehab. They're getting trained by certified sports. I mean, it is. They're getting trained like athletes.
You know, not people that went through, you know, the Master Fitness Trainers course that is, you know, kind of worthless in the Army, if you ask me. No,
oh yeah, they make you get. I remember going to that course. They say, oh yeah, because you're gonna need to tape somebody, and somebody needs to be taped. You're the guy that.
You're right.
You're the guy.
You know, if you could read a regulation, yeah. That's pretty much all you learn in that course.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm not wrong.
No, exactly.
I know how to read.
Yeah. Oh man. No, you're the Master Fitness Trainer that's got to tell the first sergeant it's okay to tape. A male can tape a female.
Oh yeah, and I've been taped by 2 males so many times because that was all. There was only for the 2 years I was in, there was only 2 female NCOs in my unit.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I got taped by males all the time. I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, everyone's like, oh, you can't do that because, you might get in trouble. And the first thing they go is, oh, because it's sexual harassment. So, sexual harassment. You're gonna put a hat. So when you get taped, you can put a Me Too on it. No, I shouldn't say that. That's fucked up. I got taped by the first sergeant. Me Too. Oh man. Oh lordy. No. So anywho, sorry I digress. I just want to talk about that rant and the freaking West Virginia weed. Fuck. What's going on, dude? The world is like, I don't know, just retirement's starting to look good now. Fuck. I want to talk to my boss.
Yep, come on over to the dark side.
Yeah, I can't wait, dude. It'll be awesome. Can't you see what it's like? Couldn't even imagine. So, anywho, yeah, guys. So, thanks for joining us tonight for Sergeant's Time. Always a pleasure to have you guys listening at WTF Nation Radio. We got, well, actually, we don't have a guest tomorrow, do we? Do we have a guest tomorrow? No, we don't.
No, we do not have one tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow's going to be pretty much Friday Night Freedom. And then, dude, I can't wait. I'm really excited about the fucking pre-Halloween show with Jay Reddy. Oh, man, dude. Dude, that's going to be bad. That's going to be badass. That's going to be, I like paranormal shit. If this guy gets video of some of the shit he's done, we're going to put it on there so we can see it. It's going to be badass. I'm just fascinated by paranormal stuff. Ghosts, freaking, when you watch a camera and all of a sudden you see like a ball start moving on its own, or you see the orbs around the lens, or you see the shadow and down the hallway. Fuck yeah, dude! I love shit like that. That one time you guys weren't in the office chat because me and Pookie were throwing back those images.
Yeah, see, I'm the opposite. I'm actually looking forward to it because I really don't believe in any of it and want to see what he has to say that might convince me that it really happens.
You really don't believe in ghosts? You don't believe in any entities or anything like that could be... You don't believe in something's out there?
Well, I do believe that there's, that's a whole lot of wasted space if there's not. But no, I don't believe in ghosts or believe they're here or, no.
Well,
I don't.
There's been a recent study right now that everyone says that there is a study which everyone's freaking out is that the brain is still alive for a few minutes after you're dead, and it's recognizing that you're dead. That's why they're talking about the cognitive, spiritual, tendencies that you're. That's why people have out of body experiences or shit like that. I find it fascinating.
I can believe that.
Yeah, I find it fascinating. I find it fascinating. I want to see some shit. I want to see somebody film something and like, hey, make that move or turn that light on. I want somebody to turn on like a surefire light, because you gotta push the button down, right, on a surefire light. And there's only one way to do it. You have to push the button in the back. So if you set up a surefire light, say, if you are here, turn on this light, and that light comes on, dude, then you know it's real. Is that what you need to be convinced?
Almost, yes. I need to be able to like see it, touch it, feel it, something. That's me personally. But I'm not saying that it doesn't exist or any, like ghosts don't exist. I just personally don't believe it because I have not been able to see it, feel it, touch it.
No, but that's what I'm saying though. But you don't believe videos and shit when you see it?
And not really, no, because there's video editing, there's this, there's that. So again, like I said, I'm looking forward to our guest that's coming up to tell us about it.
Oh man, I hope he has. And then it's Jay Reddy show too. I wonder who he's gonna savage. Anyways, he's been savaging a lot of people lately. I know he went apeshit on Dan Bilzerian, and that was a pretty good show. So I think it's gonna be another one. K-Force Professional Staffing has a call center technician position open located in Falls Church, Virginia. It's working with FEMA to help support the Hurricane Harvey disaster relief. They're looking for over 100 more candidates to fill the position up. So if you know anybody who meets the following criteria, please contact Caitlin White at 703-342-3167. Must be English and Spanish speaker and must be available for a background check, clearable at least 18 years old, and a U.S. citizen. 703-342-3167, and this is for FEMA relief assistance. I think they pay some pretty cash. But anyhow, on that note, everyone, thanks for joining us tonight on Sergeant's Time. Again, we want to thank Jonathan the Cop Hanger for coming on from CBS Radio Connecting Vets. Make sure when any new stuff comes out, let them know. Hey, we want the scoop. He gave us a scoop about weed already, so we want more scoops of weed. So, all right, thanks.
Y'all have sweet dreams and stuff.
Yeah, we just talked about ghosts, so I hope everyone's good about that. Good night. Shots.
Good evening, boys and girls. This is Tim Kennedy. I'm a Special Forces sniper, a Ranger qualified Green Beret, a UFC fighter. Please listen to us and the shenanigans that we're going to say. We will insult you. There will be racial slurs. We will be sexist. We will offend you. But there will be magic, and a unicorn will be raped. So enjoy the show. Thank you for listening on WTF Nation Radio.
I sit back with this pack of zigzags and this bag of this weed. It gives me the shit needed to be the most meanest MC on this earth. And since birth, I've been cursed with this curse to just curse and just flirt this berserk and bizarre shit that works and it sells and it helps in itself to relieve all this tension, dispensing these sentences, getting the stress that's been eating me recently off of this chest, and I rest again peacefully. But at least have the decency in you to leave me alone when you freaks see me out in the streets when I'm eating or feeding my daughter to not come and speak to me. I don't know you and no, I don't owe you a motherfucking thing. I'm not Mr. Instinct, I'm not what your friends think. I'm not Mr. Friendly, I can be a prick if you tempt me. My tank is on empty. No patience is in me, and if you offend me, I'm lifting you 10 feet in the air. I don't care who was there and who saw me. Just joy you will call you a lawyer, file you a lawsuit. I'll smile in the courtroom and buy you a wardrobe. I'm tired of all you. I don't mean to be misguided, such rotten responses, and all of this controversy circles me, and it seems like the media immediately points a finger at me. So I point one back at him, but not the index or pinky or the ring or the thumb. It's the one you put up when you don't give a fuck, when you won't just put up with the bullshit they pull, cause they full of shit too. When a dude's getting bullied and shoots up at school and they blame it on Maryland and the heroin, where were the parents at? And look where it's at, middle America. Now it's a tragedy, now it's so sad to see an upper class city having this happening. Then attack Eminem cause I rap this way, but I'm glad cause they feed me the fuel that I be able to top on my name is, and pigeonholed into some poppy sensation that caught me rotation at rock and roll stations, and I just do not got the patience to deal with these cocky Caucasians who think I'm some wigger who just tries to be black cause I talk with an accent and grab on my balls, so they always keep asking the same fucking questions. What school did I go to? What hood I grew up in? And why, the who, what, when, and where, and the how? Till I'm grabbing my hair and I'm tearing it out. Cause they're driving me crazy. I can't take it, I'm racing, I'm pacing, I stand and I sit, and I'm thankful for every fan that I get, but I can't take a shit in the bathroom without someone standing by it.
Is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
The bitches, they love visuals.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe. I suggest we use it.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.